All right, and we are live here on YouTube for the what even is this race? The Straight Talk Wireless 500 at Phoenix International Raceway. Welcome on in. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. All right, let's go ahead and get this all loaded up nice and easy. Checked in for our points and boom. There we go. And just gonna do my anxiety double check. Okay, that looks good. We are set and ready for this one. Welcome on in. The fourth race of the NASCAR Cup Series season is right around the corner, and we are here and ready for an exciting race today. Hopefully, you guys are too. As yeah, we are here and ready for this one. An interesting qualifying result that ended up with two Spire Motorsports cars inside the top 10. Unfortunately, my boy McDowell, not the hometown hero today, as he did not get into the top 10 for the in qualifying, although he will still obviously have a chance to do it in the race, hopefully. Maybe. Ish. Kinda. Something. I have no idea. But let me be delusional. I get it. It probably isn't going to happen, but yeah. All right, so there we go. Again, we got everything all set up. We are ready to rock and roll. Hopefully, you guys are getting excited. And yeah, we've got ourselves a race here at the Phoenix International Raceway on standby. Do 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 do. All right, so again, we're just chilling out. We got 4 people hanging out in chat already. Again, as we're getting ready for this one. Again, let me know who you guys are picking for the race. Would love to hear some of your guys' predictions. I've got mine. I got my pick locked in for the race. Qualifying definitely makes me question how good my pick is, but then again, qualifying has me questioning a lot when I see Daniel Suarez and Austin Cindric both in the top 5. Given the fact that, yeah, the man. All right, they got the Grand Marshal getting ready to start the engines, and we are ready to rock and roll. Yeah, so again, Logano, Larson, Cindric, Suarez, Blaney, your top 5. That is an interesting top 5. Then you got Chastain, Hocevar, Tyler Reddick, who is looking for a very historic 4 in a row. Rolling off in the 8th position, 9th will be Byron, and 10th is where we find Josh Berry. But don't worry if you guys are a Joe Gibbs Racing fan. Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell will both roll off just outside the top 10 in 11th and 12th, respectively. So, all right, there we go. Yeah, we're chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Love the Logano scheme. I have not actually seen Logano's paint scheme for this week. Let me see. Let's see it. Paint scheme preview. Do. Which paint scheme is it? Alright, Denny Hamlin has the bump. Okay. Is Ryan Blaney trying to do like a Chase Elliott cosplay or something with his paint scheme? I mean, that literally looks like a Chase Elliott paint scheme. Ooh, I love the look of the craft on number 17. Okay, that one looks pretty good. The 22 looks pretty good, but yeah, it looks like Ryan Blaney is trying to do a Chase Elliott lookalike contest. Then we got Robin Hood on the Bubba Wallace machine. Byron's got Raptor with the flames. Let's see, what other ones do we got? Ooh, the 47 actually looks pretty cool too. Just scrolling down through the other paint schemes here. Obviously, unfortunate that Alex Bowman will end up missing the Ally Best Friends Animal Society paint scheme race at his home track as he was diagnosed this week with vertigo. Unsure as to what that will mean for him for the remainder of the season, but that is rough. Cody Ware's got a bright pink car from Super.com. Ty Gibbs has a bright purple car. Ryan Preece has Bodyguard. McDowell's got Delaware Life. Hocevar has Minor Docks, Doors, and more. Zilich has Wendy's on the hood. SVG has Safety Culture, and that is it for the Cup Series paint schemes as we are going to be getting ready to lock on in here. If Reddick pulls something off, he's going to do something. He's going to do something drivers haven't done since 07. Yes, there's not been a 4 in a row win streak since 07 with Jimmy Johnson en route to one of his championships. And something that has literally never been done, considering the fact that last week he did something that had never been done, which was winning 3 to start the year. But yeah, if he wins 4 to start the year, I mean, he will have absolutely cemented himself as the championship favorite. If he hasn't already. I haven't looked at the betting odds to know for sure. But he should be the he should be the championship favorite, at least provisionally. All right, so Larson Logano row 1. That is again, those two we kind of already talked about the top 10, but TV starting to get into it. Again, highlighting last year's Phoenix finale when Byron had a tire go down, which left another restart open for a lot of drivers, including Ryan Blaney, who ended up winning the race, and Kyle Larson, who ended up winning the championship. Suarez and Cindric in row 2. That is a weird row. So, Austin Cindric, Daniel Suarez, row 2. Row 3, we've got Blaney and Chastain. Good thing is that Homestead is one of his best tracks. Yes, but also the championship isn't fully decided on that. Also, Hocevar going to the rear of the field. Okay, that's big. But as we're getting back through row 5, we got row 6. We got Hamlin and Bell. So, but yeah, again, Hocevar going to the rear of the field. That's going to be exciting to start the race. There we go. They're going through the rest. So the guys going to the rear of the field, you got Brad Keselowski, who crashed in practice and will be going to a backup car. Zane Smith will have to make a pass-through penalty on the green flag. Yikes. And Carson Hocevar both for making unapproved adjustments. Only Zane Smith is having to do the pass-through penalty. But man, this is one of honestly, I think between this and Martinsville are like the two worst tracks to have to do a pass-through penalty at. And yeah, that will almost certainly put him a lap down here very early on. So Zane Smith, a very unfortunate thing there. So they're showing the temperatures for the brakes because again, these brakes will be tested today as as the Arizona heat is going to absolutely test them. I think the O'Reilly race was pretty good. Yeah, it was all right. Again, I think I said this before I hopped off the stream. The IndyCar race made it really tough for anything to really top it. The O'Reilly race was solid, though. All right, yeah, we are getting set up here. Again, Briscoe, the worst of the four Gibbs cars, as he will be starting in the 20th position. McDowell's only in 16th. Okay, that's not too bad. Just looking at some of the guys who had overachieved in the standings up to this point. If Daniel Suarez can make it actually look not completely insane that he qualified top 5, we might actually have a conversation being had here about what Suarez's playoff chances could look like. I mean, obviously, we are still 312 laps away from being able to say that, but yeah. IndyCar made a pretty good choice coming back here. Yeah, again, this track, flat ovals is really where IndyCar succeeds the most. Tracks like here, Richmond, New Hampshire are some of the greatest, are home to some of the greater IndyCar races I've ever seen. Iowa's another one that I think they absolutely need to be going to every year, which they do now. But yeah, I'd love to see them return to Richmond and New Hampshire too. And I'm not just biased because I would love to go and watch an IndyCar race in New Hampshire, although okay, yes, I absolutely do want to see an IndyCar race in New Hampshire because I want to actually be able to go there, but so there we go. The dog leg versus the traditional racing surface. It's about 50 feet shorter if you cut across with a straight line, which is again a notable difference. We'll have to wait and see exactly how far out of line some of these drivers pop. And most notably, we have to remember that you can't pop out of line until you cross that start-finish line on the initial starts. So you'll have to be a little bit careful of that. But outside of that, you can go down. You can go anywhere it's paved. It is inbound. So we'll be here and ready to go. Doubling up, pace cars off, field in the hands of Logano and Larson as we get ready to go. Green flags out. We are racing here at Phoenix International Raceway. Logano dives it down onto the apron. The other drivers up fan out 4, 5, 6 wide down towards turn 1 here. 42 has paint scheme of the week for me. I don't know about that one. There were a lot of good paint schemes here, but yeah, the 22 jumps out to an early lead. Gonna jump out well ahead. Here we go again. Right now, Austin Cindric doing a good job trying to fight his way up into that, trying to challenge Larson for that second position there. We got ourselves a good race going. We got Suarez battling it out with Byron for 5th here, or for 4th place here. Meanwhile, again, you've got everybody else behind just starting to stack up even more and more. You know, Ryan Blaney and Ross Chastain side by side behind those two. Alright, so 3 laps in, and yeah, again, so far, Logano out to a clear lead. Byron starting to get clear of Suarez, although that is the first side-by-side battle still. I thought Byron would have gotten clear by now. But Suarez putting up a good fight here, trying to prove that he does belong. All right, so again, right now we got Suarez now battling it out with Ryan Blaney for fourth and fifth here. Looks like Byron took a little bit of a step back there when I looked down for a second. Reddick starting to improve his position here as he's gotten by Ross Chastain and now looking to get by William Byron to move himself right up the grid. So Tyler Reddick, I would not rule him out quite yet. Let's say 4 in a row is the goal, and obviously will be the topic of conversation all throughout the race. But Tyler Reddick starting to make some moves here early on. All right, here we go. All right, we are 9 laps in, and whoa, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. way up the track there. Is a way up the track for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. That is going to be a driver we're going to be keeping an eye on as well, just because he is always a little bit chaotic there. 2311 understood the assignment when NASCAR announced the chase, the return of the chase. Kind of, but honestly, I mean, this current strategy of just win for Reddick would absolutely have worked under the old points format too. I mean, you win every single race, you win the final race, you win the championship. So hard to say that they understood the assignment when it's like, okay, this strategy would have worked before too. So if you knew how to do this and could have pulled this off from the beginning, I'd be a little bit concerned as to why you weren't doing this earlier. Man, I say Cindric continuing to put the put on a real charge here to try and get by Kyle Larson for that second position. Penske as a whole, 1, 3, and 4 for Team Penske. All right, there we go. Briscoe is also in quick order found the worst of the Gibbs cars in Ty Gibbs, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one. But all right, Ryan Blaney faster than the leader's current lap than the leader's last lap, so we'll have to keep an eye out. All right, there we go. And again, right now, Reddick trying to pass Suarez here now for the 5th position. Suarez continuing to slide back just a little bit at a time as we approach 300 laps to go. A long way to still go here, but again, sliding back. As I say, Suarez putting up a good fight to have held on and not just thrown in the towel here. Again, this these short first stage is definitely an interesting one, but as of right now, it is a very tough spot. they're going to a commercial break. I'm going to run and grab some water, and we'll be right back, guys. Alright, missed the back from commercial, but we are back. We are here and ready for this one. Suarez continuing to slide further and further back. Christopher Bell Christopher Bell and Hamlin on the charge. Reddick too. These Penske guys, they took an early lead, but the Toyotas are coming. The Toyotas are coming. You've got Reddick looking for 4 in a row. You've got Hamlin, Bell looking to try and break through for their first wins of the year. And really looking to try and bounce back from a really horrendous start to the season. Because if I remember correctly, the Joe Gibbs cars in points are doing really kind of bad this year. So, yeah, Denny Hamlin, 23rd. Christopher Bell, 24th in points. Briscoe, 27th in points. So, as all 4 Gibbs cars, as of right now, would miss the playoffs. Or the chase. But, obviously, we are a long ways off from that. 25 laps, though, into this first stage. We are closing in on halfway through this first stage. Again, there's a lot of distance between Reddick and the front three at Penske, but it is gonna, as I say, it's gonna start to eat up. Just a little bit here, a little bit there. All right, so here we go. I'm curious to see how Austin Hill and Alfredo end up doing against each other. You can see the fact that they're both moonlighting essentially from the Xfinity or from the O'Reilly Auto Parts series. All right, so there we go. 30 laps down, 30 to go here in the stage. Again, Logano and Blaney doing really well, and Cindric not too far behind, although obviously Cindric a little ways off of his two teammates there. All right, welcome on in. We got 25 people popping on in here. Welcome on in. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. All right, so there we go. They go to commercial break. We are chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. And Blaney's starting to get close to the back bumper of his teammate. Again, I doubt we see too much teammate on teammate action here, especially where the two of them have so much gap between themselves and the field. It's not like they're pressured to try and keep this one going. All right, so here we go. Again, I'm kind of curious what this could mean for Bowman with the whole vertigo diagnosis. Again, we don't know what could end up happening. But yeah, again, right now we're working our way through this one. Yeah, that front As I say, Reddick has closed in a full second on the leaders. Oh boy, we might be seeing a Tyler Reddick appearance here in the top three sooner rather than later. Hamlin and Bell also working their way up towards the front. All right, so there we go. All right, there we go. Again, these Penske cars up front have got to be thinking about that. Oh wow, fastest lap. Sorry, fastest lap. Joey Logano, and no Tyler Reddick in the top 5 on fastest laps, but Reddick is coming with a head of steam. All right, there we go. All right, so again, here comes Reddick's all over the back bumper of Reddick all over the back bumper of Austin Cindric, and here comes Christopher Bell also all over them. They've now lapped Cody where Zane Smith did not initially go a full lap down here, so that's pretty good. But to the bottom of the racetrack goes Reddick. Looking to the inside, can Tyler Reddick get this one done here? That would be incredible if Tyler Reddick's able to go ahead and get a 4th win in a row. Alright, so there we go. Let's say Kyle Busch now a lap down as well, and man, Logano has Blaney all over his rear bumper. They are feeling this pressure from behind with the cars of Reddick and Bell starting to charge by Cindric. All right, so again, right now we got people making moves here, all right in front of the leaders. And so we got actually a pretty big battle for position here. I believe that is Noah Gragson versus Cole Custer. Those two fighting it hard for a position. Austin Hill also right in that picture too. All right, so there we go. And oh, there goes Blaney. Top of the track goes Blaney around his teammate and gets around those two cars that were feuding right in front of Logano as well. And Ryan Blaney, the fastest car on track the last couple of laps, and he is really trying to get away from Reddick as Tyler Reddick's getting closer here. If I had to pick a race to put Hill in, I wouldn't have picked Phoenix. Yeah, I wouldn't have done that either. Sorry if I sound drunk. I'm trying to keep. I've got like 4 group chats going with people asking me questions. For whatever reason, they expect me to answer in the middle of a stream, so I'm bouncing back and forth between like 4 different conversations. But yeah, right now though, again, Ryan Blaney out in front of the field, 10 laps to go in the stage. We got Logano in second. Reddick has made his way to third now. Bell to fourth. Hamlin to fifth. Cindric has slid all the way to the 6th position. Daniel Suarez has actually managed to sustain himself all the way in the 7th position here. Then we've got, and then they go and flip the stupid leaderboard that I'm getting hit. Okay. Yeah, Byron Gibbs and Chastain, the other drivers inside that top 10. All right. Yeah, again, we got a lot of drivers making their way up to this one. I'm kind of surprised. SVG doing pretty well. He's got a 15th place run going. He very well could end up earning himself a spot inside the. As he could legitimately find himself inside the chase here at the end of the regular season. Yeah, Alfredo struggling in the 48. That's unsurprising. Again, he hasn't had a lot of time, obviously, in the new Next Gen Cup car. He did do a full season of Cup Series racing back in, I believe it was 2019. He did get a full season in the NASCAR Cup Series for Front Row Motorsports, but again, that experience was a long time ago and a older generation of car. He has been their test and sim driver as well as backup driver, so it's not like he hasn't had any chance to learn this car, but yeah, it's not really a big surprise to see Alfredo in the 48 not gelling immediately here. All right, so there we go. Alfredo, okay, it was in 2021. Okay, I knew sometime in and around the pandemic, Alfredo got a full time ride at yeah at Front Row Motorsports. I just didn't remember. I just got the year wrong. Alright, so there we go. Again, Kyle Larson, say after starting second, Kyle Larson fell to 13th. What happened to him? I'm kind of curious to know what happened to Kyle Larson because, again, we were kind of focusing on the slide back of Cindric or Suarez and kind of missed the fact that Larson slid all the way back. Wow, first season without a top five in the first three races since 2021 for Larson. Now, granted, that was a major season. Not saying Alfredo's bad, but I would expect more out of him in a Hendrick car. I mean, again, I remember. I think back to like, okay, what did guys like? I mean, I guess Josh Berry had a couple of good runs in the yeah, in the nine when he substitute drove for Chase Elliott. But like, I'm thinking back to like the Gateway race when when they threw LaJoy in there. And I remember that not exactly being the smoothest race for LaJoy. Obviously, it's only a one race sample size, but so is this. So again, I'm not writing anybody off based on a singular race sample size. Yeah, but yeah, it's not a big spot here. A lot of cars losing a lap here at the end of the stage. Yeah, well, the longer the stage drags on, the more and more cars are going to lose laps naturally just through the amount of time spent on the racetrack. But yeah, again, Blaney has turned up the speed trying to just get away from these other drivers. Because again, Bell, Reddick, and Hamlin all kind of knocking on this door here trying to get by. And right now it's just Joey Logano holding them off. And Ryan Blaney trying to run away as fast as he can. He's going, and so far it's going pretty well. 2 laps away from the end of the first stage here. Yeah, and LaJoy had more next gen experience. Yeah, that too. Allgaier subbed in for a 100 car one time. Allgaier subbed in, I think it was for the 77 team, and yeah, he ran okay, but it was one. It wasn't a. I don't think. I don't think Allgaier subbed in for a Hendrick driver, unless you're talking about years ago. But here we go. Final lap of stage one. Looks like Ryan Blaney is going to be able to hold off the hard charging Reddick and Bell through the final set of corners here. Bell off the top side for second. It's going to be Bell. Why are they saying Reddick was fourth? Was I seeing a different car? I thought Bell was just side by side with Reddick coming across the line, but saying Reddick got fourth by a substantial margin. So maybe I was seeing a different dark colored car that wasn't him. But there we go. Yeah, he ran the 77 at. Yeah, he ran the 77 at Talladega following a injury to I can't remember who they had at that point. But yeah, they had an injured driver back then and needed to have someone fill in, and it was Allgaier. And yeah, again, we've seen drivers do better, and that's not saying that that everything was there, but there we go. Hey, Charles, how's it going? So, again, we are just at the end of the first stage. We got 125 laps in stage two, and then 127 to the checkered flag. So, again, the first stage really short, and then the final two stages are both going to be a lot longer here. So, we'll have to keep an eye on it. But again, Allgaier's also had a lot more racing experience. I mean, if we're looking at Anthony Alfredo's racing career, and let me actually go ahead and back this up by looking it up before I say anything, because I don't want to sound too stupid, although I tend to do that plenty on my own anyway. Let's see. Wasn't it Allgaier drove Larson? Yeah, Allgaier drove Larson's car in the 2024 Coke 600. But again, it's not like that was the only time Allgaier had ever substitute driven, and had a lot more Cup and in general full time experience. Because so let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so yeah, So Anthony Alfredo has had 4 full-time seasons of O'Reilly Auto Parts. But yeah, so Anthony Alfredo has 4 full seasons of O'Reilly Auto Parts Series competition. Back in when Allgaier made that substitute drive for when Allgaier made that substitute drive for Larson, he had what 8, 9 full time O'Reilly Auto Parts Series seasons under his belt at that point, in addition to a couple of full time seasons at the Cup level too. I mean, that is insane. So, again, I would love to see more from Anthony Alfredo, but we're 60 laps into his first Cup action. Because this is his first Cup Series start since he failed to qualify for the Daytona 500 this past year. So that would mean, he failed to qualify this year, which means his last Cup start was at Talladega last year. He also failed to qualify for the Daytona 500 that year. So let's see, what was his last non-Super Speedway start? Richmond and Martinsville for Live Fast Motorsports in 2023 was his last Cup Series start at a non-Super Speedway. I mean, again, yeah, probably could expect to see some difference, but yeah, 1 week without Day wrecking people in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Yeah. Corey Day didn't manage to wreck anyone, at least not that I saw in the O'Reilly Auto Parts race last night. Yeah, not my next gen experience. Let's see. But there's also just something to be said, though, about having experience in a car at all. Versus, again, Alfredo, who has 4 full seasons of O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, never full time in trucks, and 1 full time season of Cup, like literally we said 5 years ago. Yeah, so Allgaier at this point has 84 Cup races under his belt. Again, yeah, maybe not, and obviously a couple of those were the Daytona 500s the last couple of years. And again, some of that was years ago, back in the H. Scott Motorsports days. And yeah, 13th place was respectable for him in that one. So yeah, Allgaier was in the Beard Motorsports car at Talladega. He drove the Spire 77 at, is that? Oh, Bristol Dirt. Okay, I did not realize that he had driven Bristol Dirt in the next gen Cup car. Pocono was the one I was thinking of that he had driven the 77 for. But yeah. Oh, Kyle Larson speeding on pit road. He will be going to the back of the pack for the restart of the stage. Oof. Hey Brady, how's it going? What's the caution? We are currently under caution for the end of stage number 1 at lap 60. There are so many truck drivers that have so much potential in higher series like Rhodes and Majeski. They just find it comes. Yeah, I'd like to see that too. My day's going pretty good. How's your day going? All right, so there we go. Yeah, we're all set up here again. And so they're talking with a couple of the IndyCar guys, Scott McLaughlin and Dave Malukas, a couple of Penske's guys. Meanwhile, Penske's guys currently are second and third at the moment. Again, Blaney did win that stage, so yeah, over Christopher Bell. We're just waiting to see what the pit stop's going to end up looking like. I don't know why the leaderboard on the screen is different. I don't know if that's because they're in the middle of doing pit stops right now. But yeah, for whatever reason, the scoreboard is a bit different. All right, there we go. We got 31 people popping on in here for this one. But yeah, here we go. Blaney is freaking good here in Phoenix. That might be the understatement of the century because yeah, it's like if you look at how these if you look at how these guys do in but yeah, as a Blaney has had an incredible run at Phoenix. I mean, in the championship finale, he's doing good, but yeah. What are your thoughts on Cletus doing the O'Reilly? Yeah, I mentioned this during I think it was yesterday's race, but yeah. Uh, in my opinion, especially given the way that it, because I've had a couple of conversations with a couple of different coworkers of mine who are NASCAR fans as well, and yeah, I think most of us agree that yeah he shouldn't be getting rushed up. One of them is like, well, they want to prove people like Natalie Decker, and it's like yes, but at least Natalie Decker has completed laps. I mean, say what you will about her, and trust me, I have plenty of negative to say. We're about to get to the green flag, so I will continue that thought in just a moment. But here we go. Entering the restart zone. Green flag is out, and it is Christopher Bell out in front of the field here. Joey Logano going to try and hold on to that second position as the rest of the drivers fan out 3, 4, 5 wide behind. And again, it is Christopher Bell leading the charge around Phoenix. Again, Joey Logano has jumped up to that outside line here. Blaney has settled back in the third position and now has both Hamlin and Reddick all over his rear bumper. Even Ty Gibbs and Chase Briscoe have entered the conversation, and instantly the front of the field has slipped from Penske to Toyota City here. Bell, Reddick, Hamlin, Briscoe, Gibbs. That's 5 Toyotas in the top 10. And that was all thanks to a really good pit stop by Bell's team to get him out front, along with some, as I assume, some other great pit stops from Gibbs and Briscoe that we'll have to see later on. But yeah, all right, there we go. We got settled into a single file line, at least for the moment. I'll continue talking about the Cletus thing. But yeah, so in my opinion, one, I think the fact that they approved him to race at the same track where he spun and crashed a truck in his approval test is a little bit ironic. And then the fact that if he gets approved for that, he'll be approved to run the super speed. If he runs top 25 there, which that is the caveat, is that he has to run top 25 at Rockingham to get approval to run the 2 plate races later this year. at any team. I didn't expect RCR. I don't know. I could see that because RCR is one of the few teams in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series that has both the funding and capability to expand, and that would also be able to properly market a a superstar of Cletus's caliber. But again, in my opinion, I think they should have, especially given the fact that he crashed in his test date for the when he was getting his approval for the trucks, which he did ultimately get his approval for the trucks, but he crashed during that, and then spinning and crashing in his within 5 laps of his first truck start. I would have at that point been like, okay, Cletus, wait, let's take the year, find some stability in the Arkham and Ard series. Maybe we get you a couple more truck starts at some more manageable tracks because Daytona is a beast. But yeah, Mike Wallace, he was rejected for a Cup race, wasn't he? Just double checking that one as well. But yeah, again, right now though, we've got Bell, Blaney, Logano out in front of the field. But yeah, I believe Mike Wallace was rejected from a Cup race. If again, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But yeah, again, I would have told Cletus like, hey, let's try and run, let's say 5 ARCA races, and we'll get you in 2 to 3 more truck races throughout this year. Maybe at some more manageable tracks, some more similar. Like maybe we get you a truck date at Rockingham, since he was at least familiar with that track, as he did get to turn some laps before he crashed the truck at the test. So, like, maybe I would put together a 2 to 3 truck race season, along with telling him, hey, let's run five or so ARCA races. Let's try to fix the mistake we had at Charlotte last year when he had an issue on the restart that ended up stacking up the field. That would have been my opinion on that. Exactly, yeah. Again, I think there is the real potential for talent there. I would like to see him actually slow it down, because again, I've seen what rushing through the ranks has done to guys, and I'm not trying to call out any of these guys in particular, but I mean, look at guys like an Eric Jones, a Daniel Suarez, and if you want to go with a more extreme example and more similar to Cletus, look at someone like a Danica Patrick, who came right through the ranks in. Yeah, okay, yeah, it was a 20. Yeah, for last year's Daytona 500. Yeah, yeah. As I said, again, Cup approval. I can kind of understand there being different credential for a Cup approval process versus an O'Reilly Auto Parts or truck approval. Again, it doesn't automatically make this one not a little odd, but yeah, I can at least I can acknowledge that there is a difference in those. So, no, Mike was not allowed an attempt to qualify the car. I believe they ended up going with was it Timmy Hill that they ended up going with for let's see, Garage 66. Casey Atwood, another great example of guys who got moved through this series way too quickly. All right, MBM Motorsports. Okay, that's what they're still listed under, even though it's. Okay, all right, Car 66. It was Chandler Smith that failed to qualify for the 2025 Daytona 500 in that car. Yeah, Cletus is definitely more of a super speedway guy, but again, you have to prove that you can do it safely at the Martinsville or Rockinghams of the world before you should be put on the high banks. Yeah, before you should be put on the high banks of that track. Yeah, again, he did fine at Charlotte in the ARCA, but killed the field on the restart. Again, that's why I would like to see him, again, be able to do that race again and rectify the issue before looking at a promotion. Because, yeah, if I'm looking at it from a sense of, okay, what is your resume to promote you? Yeah, it was a mistake. He's a rookie. It's not like a black mark that would forever hamper him. But if you're talking about what he's done, it's like, okay, you've got limited ARCA starts to look at. You've got a singular truck start where he spun and crashed 5 laps in. And you've got a truck test where he crashed the truck as well. I mean, there's not a lot of evidence to go to be like, okay, we trust him enough to approve him. Wow. Yeah, it's just one of those things that I think ultimately it is going to end up coming down to the fact that NASCAR likes the publicity he brings to them, and he likes the amount of attention that he draws, and that they're probably honestly encouraging him to move up the field even faster. I mean, wouldn't put it past him to be in the Daytona 500 at some point. Yeah, here pretty soon, which again is concerning because it's like, okay, does he get the open car provisional? Yeah, again, and for you to have one race without problems, again, it's just something where, again, I might pump the brakes a little bit. Again, not saying to pull him out of the, I'm not saying to pull Cletus out of the car entirely, but, do we got, looked like Reddick might be having some sort of trouble there with the car for a moment. I thought he might have been coming to pit road there, but yeah, again, Tyler Reddick looking like he might have a bit of trouble there. I believe he was complaining about brake issues. Let me see. Somebody. Yeah, shortly before the end of that stage, Reddick was talking about brake problems. So I thought maybe those would come back to bite him. But again, so far, he's still out here. It's just a matter of how good is he doing. Again, we're 30 laps into this second stage here. Yeah, again, we are chilling here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. They are absolutely flying around here. Liano's still holding the fastest lap of the day here. Let's go ahead and see who are some of these cars that are fighting to hold on to this lead lap status here. All right, so right now, Riley Herbst is the last driver on the lead lap in 26th place. Kyle Larson, Ty Dillon, and AJ Allmendinger are some of the other drivers on the cusp of going a lap down. Chase Elliott in 22nd, only a few spots away as well from going a lap down himself. So there's definitely some other ones to keep an eye on there. Oh, Kyle Busch with a flat tire. Are you kidding me? Another tough day for the rookie Connor Zilic. Yeah. Again, I'm not surprised to see a Cup rookie who's had minimal oval experience with trouble, but yeah, Kyle Busch, another flat tire. Oh man. Oh, is he? I don't think he's gonna get back around the pits. I believe we are about to see a caution flag come out for this one. All right, Yep, caution flag is out. Oh, SVG is stopped on the front stretch. Shane Van Gisbergen stopped at the start finish line. You say Rex, I'm gonna need to see a replay of that one because at the moment his car looks like it just rolled out of the garage area. Oh, boy. Pain never ends for Audi fans. Yeah. 1 minute. 1 second, guys. Okay, yep, that was a message from a buddy of mine who's also a Cowboys fan, and because I try to keep this channel as family friendly as I can, I will not be playing that audio clip on the air for you guys. But yep, say a but yeah, it looks like a okay. So yeah, it was a flat tire, and SVG did end up spinning around, which was the cause for the caution. But he doesn't end up actually hitting anything, which credit to SVG. That is some incredible car control there. Yeah, as they does a 360, gets it back going the correct direction, and just parks it on the start finish line because again, not wanting to tear up his car. Which again, he did great. He had some great car control there to keep that thing from hitting the wall, from going too low and getting into the thing, and then he was able to ultimately make it around, and he's now getting chased out by the tow truck. SVG running from the tow truck with the flat tire. And SVG gonna get to his pit box here. I was actually talking pretty nicely about SVG earlier, though, thinking like, okay, he might actually have a good shot here. Yeah, I mean, that's one of those skills that translates from sports cars and the V8 supercars that he used to drive very well. So I'm not. I don't think anyone's surprised to see him having that kind of success. Scott Dixon taking some looks around from the top of McLaughlin's or not McLaughlin's from SVG's pit box there. Yeah, exactly. Again, he comes from the world of Australian V8 supercars. I think you said Austrian, but it is definitely Australian, not Austrian. I think there's supposed to be an L in there somewhere. I'm not the best speller either, so absolutely no hard feelings. But yeah, I'm about 90% sure there's supposed to be an L somewhere in Australian. But yeah, the V8 supercars, though, yeah, again, car control is one of those things that one of those skills that does translate pretty much 1-to-1 for any type of race car you're in, whether it's a V8 supercar, an IMSA, WeatherTech GT, or prototype car. He is from New Zealand, but it was the Australian V8 supercars that he would race in. So yeah, he is from New Zealand, but raced in Australia. A very small nuanced detail, but yeah. Yeah, New Zealander, but raced in Australia. Yep, exactly. So again, 35 laps on tires. Everybody's in for 4 tires and fuel. Race off the pit road. It's going to be... Oh, is it going to be Bell or Logano? It's close. We're waiting to see. Bell beats Logano, or did he? They're saying. The booth isn't sure either, and the TV graphics did not show it. It goes to the 20. The 20 of Bell holds off Logano on pit road. And yet there's the onboard from Kyle Busch's car as his tire went down. Oh, but yeah, there we go. All right, so there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here under the caution flag. Again, we're under the caution flag for a duo of flat tires there. Yeah, again, those tires wearing out. They did end up wearing out suspiciously close, but yeah, there we go. Alright, so there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. We're back at last year's finale. Yeah, well, it's literally the same track. You haven't repaved it or anything, so it makes sense that it would act similar. Hey, Linda Bull, welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining. Interesting to see tire failures in less than 40 laps into the stage. Yeah, again, this is an older track in a very hot climate, so I mean, it's not surprising to see this track become abrasive quicker than you'd expect. But yeah, there we go. But yeah, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining the channel as a member. All right, so there we go. All right, so there we go. All right, so yeah, we're getting ready for this restart here. At this point, you would think Goodyear would figure things out. They know how the tires temps. Well, and that's the thing, though. You don't want Goodyear to bring such good tires that there's no advantage to ever pitting for tires, because I mean that's kind of the eternal battle that they're in, is trying to bring a tire that wears out to some degree without bringing a tire that wears out too much. Because like the difference in 20 to 30 lap tires is actually pretty cool and leaves for some pretty interesting stuff. But again, it's just one of those things that they will always be battling. I mean, think about Bristol a couple years ago where they were blowing tires in 15 to 20 laps. Too fast exiting for Bubba Wallace. Yeah, they had to start throwing cautions every 10 laps at Indianapolis, 2008. But yeah, here we go. Getting ready to go back racing. Green flag is out, and here we go. Christopher Bell versus Logano, part 2. Alfredo and Zilich are back in the lead lap. Hey, that's interesting. I'm curious to see how that ends up going, but we'll have to wait and see here on this one. But yeah, those free passes are starting to get everybody back on the lead lap a little bit. And you got lots of guys going 3, 4 wide further back in the pack. That's going to be interesting to see. But again, it's just one of those things where, again, you don't want the tires to wear out too quickly, but you don't want the tires to last. For example, you wouldn't want the tires to last with virtually no speed fall off for 100 laps, because that would make for a pretty bad race. Caution flag flies. Daniel Suarez goes around. Daniel Suarez goes around. Caution flag flies once again. And Chase Elliott is hurt in the wreck as well. Sorry, Chase Elliott's car is hurt. Clarifying that right away. But, yeah, Chase Elliott Chase Elliott's car is injured in the in that melee as well. Yeah, again, Elliott still steaming around here at pretty decent pace, even with the damage, to get back around to the pit. So I think Elliott should be fine. Suarez, that one will be a little bit harder to tell. We'll have to wait and see on this one. Let's see the replay, see what ended up happening. Trying to identify which car. Oh! I've got no idea. I was in a completely different spot looking for them. Did they both just simultaneously lose it? Alright. That onboard didn't really show much. Can we back that up and just see that one again? Now I know what car we're looking for. Nope, apparently not. Similar crash like last night. Yep. Yeah, we did see a similar crash one night, last night ago. Wow. Sorry about some English right there. Yeah, in the race last night, though, with the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series cars, we did see a very similar crash. How's the 7 cars damage? We didn't really get a good chance to see what the damage looked like on the 7. I didn't see him drive. I didn't even get a chance to see him driving back to pit road, so we'll have to wait and see. That will be a question for once we come back from this commercial break. Alright, so there we go. The 7 did make some contact with the wall. That's why I'm not sure as to how bad his damage is. But yeah, again, we're just chilling out here. Currently under caution flag and a commercial break here as we had a double spin of both the 9 and the 7 that both went around at the same time. So, here we go. There we go. Both of them involved were Hendrick affiliate cars. Yes, they were. Again, though, Daniel Suarez is at a lot of question marks about him. And again, I find it hard to really dislike him because he's a really great guy off the track. Hey, Mike McDowell up into the top 10. Let's go. But on the track, he has had a really rough time trying to keep the cars he's been in competitive. And he's been in some really great cars. This one, not necessarily. Josh Berry and Ryan Preece also being listed as involved. The damage on the 7 actually does not look too bad as long as the toe link and all that are all fully intact. We should say he should be able to get that thing back out and running pretty good. We do still have 5 Toyotas inside the top 7, so A+ for Toyota's efforts here. McDowell turned his career around and love to see that. Hey, I've been a big fan of McDowell's for quite a while. Because I remember seeing him with the K-Love car at Talladega in the number 95 car during Dale Jr.'s final season. I remember seeing him there. I remember that during the quote unquote Ricky Spinhouse 400 that one summer night at Daytona with him in the 34 car with the K-Love colors running inside the top 2 throughout most of that second stage. Yeah, it was a great one. We'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping we can see some more wins here from him. I mean, in fact, that's actually who I got the Spire Motorsports shirt from. I got it when McDowell went to Spire. So here we go. Green flags out. We are racing here once again. Oh, nice. Man, I wish I could have been there for that. I remember I was up late on the phone with a buddy of mine. We were talking, and he told me what had happened. And because what I was watching on had a delay, I thought he was messing with me. He said, "Oh, the top 2 cars wrecked. McDowell made it through. McDowell made it through." I'm like, "You're absolutely just saying this to try and get my hopes up." Then I saw it happen. This is the caution. No, we just went back green. Green flag's out. We are back to racing. We've got Logano. Logano's actually putting up a really good fight here, trying to hold off on the outside line. And Logano's going to get clear of Christopher Bell. And there we go. Joey Logano able to get clear into the lead of Christopher Bell here. Again, Briscoe, Reddick right behind there as well. Kyle Busch ended up 2 laps down, and SVG is 1 lap down following their respective flat tire issues. So, yeah, something to keep an eye on here. And 6 years ago, Spire wasn't meant to be contenders. That is accurate. That is entirely accurate that they were not meant. So they were not seen as contenders. And again, I still remember Justin Haley getting that summer Daytona win that should have absolutely been a Corey LaJoie win under any reasonable circumstance. Because Kurt Busch, I understand why Kurt Busch, because Kurt Busch was leading the that summer Daytona race. And he came to pit road to try and protect points. Makes sense. Kurt Busch, he was in the top 16 on points, but didn't have a win to lock himself in, so he comes to pit road to protect the points as they were closing, running out of fuel. Why did Corey LaJoie in second place also come to pit road? Because Corey LaJoie, I can almost guarantee, was not protecting points back then. But, ultimately, Corey LaJoie came to pit road as well, leaving the field in the hands of the number 77 of Justin Haley, and lightning struck. And the race was over. But, again, Logano out in front of the field here today. We've got ourselves, again, all 4 Gibbs cars inside the top 7. Well, I mean, again, NASCAR had no idea there was going to be another lightning strike that soon after they called it. LaJoie was full-time. Yes, he was full-time in the 32 machine. Corey LaJoie was full-time in the 32 for Go Fast Racing back then. And yeah, again, the call back to green, again, that was just NASCAR procedure. Again, they didn't realize that there was about to be another lightning strike within the range that put them on a 30-minute delay, which then gave the rain enough time to show up and end the race. So, yeah, I totally understand why Kurt Busch did what he did. I don't understand that one, but yeah, there we go. But yeah, again, we're right now, though, so you've got William Byron starting to knock on the door of Ty Gibbs, trying to see if he can maybe make that pass happen here. Again, Ty Gibbs is a really good run. Wow, we got again Toyota's 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. 5 Toyotas, 2 through 6. That is a stacked middle of the field here. Also, that car for Hosvar is chaotic. And not necessarily in the best. I don't necessarily mean that in a good way. Yeah, that's when his face was on the car, yes. And that would have been LaJoie's only Cup win. Yep, that is accurate. That probably would have been Corey LaJoie's only Cup win. What was going on with Chase Elliott? I think his race team is trash because this is every week they build a slow car with no momentum. I mean, granted, he did just get involved in a wreck. But, yeah, the fact they were mid-pack to begin with, you could probably say is, the team's fault. But, yeah, I mean, as a Phoenix has always kind of been a track that tended to tip the scales more towards Toyota than Chevy or Ford, especially in recent years. Although the championship race, when Penske's had a driver in the championship for, the season finale at Phoenix tends to trend in favor of them, but All right, Austin Cindric and Ryan Blaney both up 7 and 4 spots respectively. Cindric up into the 8th position. Blaney, not sure where he's at the moment on positioning. Not inside the top 20. Oh wait, no, there he is. 12th. Elliott had the highest average finish last year. Possibly. I'd have to look that one up. I don't remember off the top of my head who had the best average finish a year ago. But yeah, again, when it comes to this specific track, though, again, while Hendrick has had a couple of victories that they've been able to get, they haven't necessarily been the easiest wins to come by at this track, and most of them races have gone to either Toyota or Penske. All right, so there we go. Yeah, we are chilling out here. 62 laps in here. He hasn't broken out of 20th and over a stage. Again, one, he was just in a crash, but two, yeah, again, this 1 week has not been his best week. I'll fully acknowledge that. But you're also speaking to the choir when you, because when you're saying that, you're talking to a guy who's a Kyle Busch fan, and Kyle Busch hasn't had a car roll off the track, roll onto the track with more than about 30th place speed at any traditional oval in a while. Yeah, again, Elliott and honestly Hendrick as a whole had a lot more success with the Gen 6 than the Gen 7. That is accurate. Again, here comes Bell. Christopher Bell making a charge at Joey Logano. Let's go. Here we go. Christopher Bell to the inside. Trying to make this pass here on Joey Logano. It looks like Bell's about to be clear. Joey Logano back to second. Christopher Bell out in front of the field here at Phoenix, but here comes Joey back to the inside. Not going to get clear. Not even going to really get beside him. Corner exit, and Bell clears off the corner, and Christian Bell's going to attempt to start putting some separation between the two of them. And now Logano's going to have to keep an eye on Reddick, Briscoe, and some of the other drivers behind him. Hamlin, Gibbs, all the way down. Here we go again. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time, though. We got 17 people popping on in here in the middle of stage 2 for what has been honestly a pretty decent race here at Phoenix by Phoenix NASCAR standards. Obviously, this doesn't hold much of a candle to the NTT IndyCar Series race from yesterday. All right. So again, right now, Logano looking high. I don't know if that's going to be the right way to try and gain room on Bell. Bell continuing to put some more gap between the two of them. Kind of surprised Logano still has the fastest lap of the race. Because that there might be his only, might be his only claim to fame from this race here. Logano spoiling Toyota party. Yep, there we go. To be honest, I think it's the driver. It's the driver more or less. Sorry, pit crew, slow tire changes, and poor mechanics. Problem is, I mean, again, where would he go that he would get better mechanics? I mean, again, say Hendrick Motorsports is the peak of when it comes to mechanics and all that stuff. I mean, they have the money, they have the best training I mean, outside of maybe a Gibbs or a Penske would be your only other options to try and find a slightly better equipped pit crew. All right, so here we go. Again, 70 laps into the stage. We're making some good progress through it. Number 8 sucks. Yeah. Yeah, again, the Kyle Busch fan in me definitely does not think of that. Yeah, look at 2021 Hendrick. That was a 2021 was a weird year. Oh, Chase Briscoe blows a tire and is down. Chase Briscoe has a tire go down and is up into the fence. Caution flag flies. I'm going to go check my fantasy lineup, and I'm going to probably end up having to take Briscoe out, assuming I had him in there in the first place. I did not have him in there, but I did have Logano in my garage. Priest hasn't done much, and I don't really mind burning up uses on a lot of my good guys to try and have a good week this week. Alright, so there we go. Yep. Chase Briscoe had a right rear tire down. Yep. Yeah. Was there? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was a right rear tire. Looking at the wreck. Yep. Caution flag does come out. But yeah, it definitely seems like a little bit of a tire issue here at Phoenix. We'll have to wait and see if if there is anything the teams can do to try and cause less of these. But I'm gonna go ahead and throw another ad break in real quick, and I'm gonna run and use the bathroom. But I will be right back, guys. Briscoe did do a great job of not spinning the car. Just get it up to the fence and control it there. The wall was just in his way. Yep, there we go. Kind of missed you on here. I was gone for what? The Atlanta race weekend. I wasn't able to do the Cup race because my computer was failing, and then I didn't do and I wasn't able to do the Coda weekend. I mean, hey, I'm hoping to be able to do more of these again. Looking forward to next Sunday. We've got IndyCar and NASCAR on the same day. We've got IndyCar in Texas and NASCAR in Vegas, so should be a good one. Alright, sorry about that. We are back. Green flag has been out for a lap or two here, and we are back in here. Alright, let's go ahead and skip that round of ads. Alright, let's get caught up on some chat, because I definitely missed some. Give me just a minute. I will get caught up on chat here. Again, Bell holds off Logano on the restart. Hamlin, Gibbs, Reddick, the top 5. But hey, at least we're down to only 4 Toyotas in the top 5, as opposed to sweeping the top 5. All right, so let's see. Kind of missed down here. Opens a good pit stop, so Chase can gain some positions. That was going to be tough because Chase probably still wanted to work on some of that damage. Best race from last week was trucks at St. Pete, in my opinion. I don't know about that one. Again, I wasn't able to watch the entire truck race at St. Petersburg, but I think the IndyCar race was actually pretty good too. So, kind of interested in seeing how this road course race is going to play out at the naval base. Yeah, that's is a the San Diego street course is going to be a fun one. I'm excited to see that one as well. Oh, your birthday is coming Sunday. All right, happy birthday. The 22 crew did a double stop of the 12. Okay, that's interesting. It's legal though, meaning if a driver goes into a pit box, they'll leave and leaves their pit box on another one. Have all the rights to whip into the next pit box and have another team tighten it. Yeah, there is a penalty for that. After one of the Joe Gibbs cars did that at a race. I think it was a year or two ago. They made a rule against that. Basically so that the big teams didn't have an advantage by having essentially 4 pit boxes you could potentially stop in to get your service done. Because, yeah, that would be a major advantage if you could stop in one of 4 different pit boxes. Like, let's just say, for example, let's say Logano was fresher on tires, but Blaney needed to come in for some tires. He couldn't just drive to the Penske pit box with the best pit crew available. So, yeah, Briscoe stopped in Bell's box. Oh, okay, that's... are you talking about in the situation that led to that rule change? Yeah. As a Briscoe, I believe, was the car involved. I don't remember which Gibbs driver's pit box he stopped in, but Bell is very much a possibility. So, but again, we're locking back in here. Again, we are at about 90 laps here, so we got about 35 to go in the stage. And man, Ty Gibbs, wrong Ty. Ty Dillon, right around the top of the racetrack here. And I'll say he and Allmendinger have both been looking all right. Obviously, Allmendinger a little bit better than that to start the year, but given the fact that they have absolutely no help from Chevy this year, given the fact that they're almost certainly going to become the Dodge factory team next year, yeah, Chevy's not going to give them any help this year, which is going to make everything that the Kaulig racing team is able to produce this year even better. How many stages left? We have 35 laps in stage 2, and then we have 127 laps to the checkers in stage 3. Did I go home? What do you mean? Did I go home? But yeah, here we go. We're chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. All right, so Cody Ware currently the last car on the lead lap. Austin Hill, another one of those cars that will be getting lapped by Christopher Bell shortly. All right, so there we go. Take a look at my fantasy team. Tell you the Larson and Priest, there's not much of a difference there. I could probably put Priest in and I'll take the 1-point loss. Yeah, I'll take the 1-point loss on Priest if it means using Priest and not Larson. Your dad raced a Hickory or your dad raced a Hickory. Okay, cool. As a Hickory is a track I'd love to go see a race at one of these days, and hopefully, because again, my and I've been saying this for a few years now, is I'm hoping to be down in the South somewhere. Hope I've been kind of looking at the North Carolina area. I'd like to be able to see some races at Hickory at one of these days. So it seems like a fun short track. I do cover races at my local dirt track up here as well, Unity Raceway. I know we tend to have a few people pop in from here who have actually seen me at the dirt track. And hey, if you guys happen to see me out at any race, whether it be a dirt track, whether it be at either Pocono or New Hampshire later this year, the 2 Cup races I'm planning on attending this year, feel free to say hi. If you guys happen to see me. Yep, so there we go. Yeah, again, always cool to see families that grew up in and around racing, though. So here we go. Oh, we got the twins. We got Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott both running their very similar looking cars together there. Okay, that's where you're from. Your dad and granddad raced to Hickory. Okay, yeah, say pretty cool. Again, all right, cool, yeah. All right, they're talking with oh, is that Briscoe? Oh, they're talking with Briscoe. He's out of the race. Oh, that hurts. Okay, wait a minute. Who had Briscoe? But yeah, again, I've heard a lot of good things about Hickory Motor Speedway from a bunch of friends who live down in that area. Yeah, I've been to Charlotte Motor Speedway for a couple races. And oh, here comes Noah Gragson with a flat tire. Caution flag is out. Caution flag flies for Noah Gragson's flat tire. Looks like there might have been some wall contact as well, based on how much damage is on that front, on the front right fender there. But here we go. Let's see the replay. Gonna circle him. Oh, yep, just scrapes the fence, probably due to the tire going down first. But yeah, I always love hearing about some of you guys. Because again, there's a lot of interesting stories in and around the sport. But yeah, Gregson in trouble. That is for sure, unfortunately. I gotta see, who had Let's see who in our group chat had Briscoe this week. But yeah, let's see. Last time I went to Hickory Motor Speedway at the Fall Brawl, someone threw a drink can at Michael. I apologize if I butcher any of these last names, by the way. Bumgarner's car. Okay, there we go. Once me and my dad went to the Nürburgring and did some laps at Nordschleife. Oh, that sounds awesome. Connor Zilic also with a tire down, in addition to it sounds like possibly William Byron having an issue too. So we might. Did we really just have a triple tire failure? Because again, Gregson we know had one. It looks almost certain that Zilic had one. I'm hearing that Byron may have had one too, but I haven't seen it. So yeah, there we go. If you were gonna go, I believe the Fall Brawl is the most laps, 480 the last time. Might be the same. I don't know. Yeah, you said it right. Okay, yeah, I was pretty sure, because I'm pretty sure I've heard that one before. Now, Michael McDowell, are you kidding me? Michael McDowell with a flat tire? What are we doing? Are we racing with thumbtacks out here? Like, did someone just leave a spike strip across the racetrack? What are we doing here? I mean, come on. So we had Gregson, That's 5, because we had Gregson, Zilich, Byron, McDowell. Wasn't, or was there a 5th one? Maybe there wasn't. Alright, so there we go. Ever since stage 2 started, I know that. Well, yeah, again, that's not all that unusual. 4 tires blowing under the caution flag now is insane. Ooh. Wait, they only had 6 sets of tires for this race? Yeah, only 6 sets of tires is insanity. The sniper from last year's finale is not done. All right, let's see. Seeing the drivers that have already blown a tire in the last 5 minutes kind of questions how many sitting ducks are out there in the field. I see a big one coming up. Oh, here, and say Cole Custer's now on pit road. Not sure what the issue is here. Again, his car looks good, so I don't think it's a tire failure here, but yeah, you say if they only approved 6 sets of tires, I mean that is negligent for a race that is 300 laps. I mean that is a lot of distance to cover on only 6 sets of tires. Okay, there we go. That's an explanation that helps make this a little bit more natural. All right, so Gregson's brake exploded, and everybody else who had a flat tire ran over debris from the brake rotor exploding. That makes a lot more sense than all these tires just being crap. Again, 6 sets of tires is still, yeah, is still super negligent. I would have gone minimum 8 sets. I would have gone 8 or 9 sets probably for this race because again, you know how frequently they pit. Although they did go the full first 60 laps without a pit stop, so there we go. But yeah, so Byron, McDowell, and Zilich all had flat tires due to it. Alright, so there we go. We saw Kyle Busch and SVG lose tires without Gregson debris again. Yeah, I'm not. That's not. Um, yeah, again, I'm not saying that it explains all the tire issues, but the fact. Oh, they had 8 sets, they said? Okay. Everybody I've been seeing has been saying 6, so that's what I was operating on. But Yeah, again, say the brake rotor exploding though explains the explains Gregson's wasn't a tire issue, Byron's, Zilich's, and McDowell's tires going down. I mean, that is a lot of the tire issues that were going on. Yeah, again, Busch and SCG could still very well have just been bad tires. Also, wouldn't NASCAR have to notify the teams of debris? Yes, that's why they threw the caution flag immediately when Gregson started pulling off the track. Yeah, 8 does make a lot more sense. Yes, exactly. Alright, so there we go. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Briscoe 2, yep. We wake up we need to slap the tires. Yeah, well, again, I hope we can get this yeah. This track is just a tire's worst nightmare. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say. Um, yeah, again, this track is definitely a high tire wear track, but it's not unlike any of the others that we've seen, like Old Atlanta or Darlington. And I think it's one, these teams are getting really aggressive with tire pressures for very little reason. If I'm 2 and it's okay. Okay, I don't know what you were trying to say there, but we got this. All right. So yeah, again, there's been a lot of debris out there from the 4 car. Looks like we are getting racked and ready to go back racing here. These questions, yeah. All right, so there we go. Anthony Alfredo gonna be looks like he might have stayed out to try and gain some track position here up into the top 10, knocking on the door of the top 10. He's technically 11th here. Let's see. More camber on the front end can also cause more tire wear. Yeah, again, a lot of it is teams being over aggressive beyond what Goodyear's recommendations are as well, which again isn't the only thing to blame, but is definitely one problem there. And 4, 5, 6 wide. Christopher Bell 6 wide up the middle, and he just jumped a ton of spots here. Again, these fresh tires gonna provide a whole lot of use, but Denny Hamlin, Ryan Preece out in front of the field, Christopher Bell making short work of the field as well, and just slicing up this field here. Here we go. Preece stayed out to try and jump a bunch of people in the standing or in the race. Especially with only 17 laps to go in the stage. If you can make it to the end of the stage on that, you might be able to save yourself a set of tires, which would be interesting. Shades of the 2025 truck finale. Yeah, 7 wide restart. Yep. Well, that's what happens when you have a track this wide and you tell these drivers go for it. But yeah, right now, though, we got the 77 on horsepower up inside the top 10. You know, say he's knocking on the door of the top 5 there with Cindric out ahead of him. Reddick's made his way up into the top, as returned to the top 10. You got Bubba Wallace trying to follow his teammate around here. Ty Gibbs knocking on the door of the top 10. In fact, actually, he is up to 10th place there. Cole Custer is officially out of the race with radio issues. Sorry, radiator issues. I think I said radio issues. With radiator issues, Cole Custer is officially out of the race. They made a good call paving the whole track. I don't know. Again, I like it. I think it provides some interesting moves for the NASCAR guys. I don't know. I still kind of miss the green grass on Old Phoenix. But yeah. Briscoe with 2 brutal last place finishes back to back with no stage points. Yeah, again, it is a really rough go of it for Briscoe, and he's going to have to absolutely march his way through the field in the throughout the summer months if he wants to make the playoffs, and 2, if he wants to make the chase, and if he wants a good chase positioning based on his regular season standings. But here we go. Bell versus Hamlin, door to door for the lead. Wait, why does it say second and third? That battle should be for the lead. The Fox graphics just said that battle was for second and third. If Bell is in second and Hamlin's in third, who on earth is leading this thing? I'm guessing that their graphics were just off, which is a very common occurrence here, unfortunately, for Fox. I would love it if Fox would just get better, but again, sometimes that's a little bit much to ask. Yep, Fox moment. Exactly. But yeah, there we go. Seeing some of the, so they're playing a replay of something Christopher Bell said during, before the race at Circuit of the Americas. Like, again, Reddick has built a major points gap, and especially if he can just manage to, if he can quietly get inside the top 10 the rest of the regular season, he'll probably coast to the lead, to the win. Although I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, I don't think he's done winning at this point. I think it'd be very hard to say that he's done winning, considering he's won 3 of 3 races so far. But yeah, so again, right now, though, we're working our way through this one. Elliott Larson both into the top 10. Hey, there we go. Trev, I'm sure you're excited to see your boy back up in the top, actually up in the top 10 now. Alright, so again, right now we got 4 Toyotas inside the top 10. Currently the only one, the one we lost. Well, we lost 2. We lost Ty Gibbs, who was dropped back to 11th, and we lost obviously Briscoe, who was out of the race. But they gained back Bubba Wallace in the top 10, so there we go. It's basically like Briscoe didn't show up for to race Coda or Phoenix when you consider he got 1 point. Yeah, exactly. Again, he has had a really rough start of things this season. Yeah, again, 7 laps to go. We got a lot of drivers kind of making some big moves here. Ty Dillon with an amazing move there, making some big bold blocks. Now you got Alex Bowman here trying to, not Alex Bowman. It's the 48 of Alfredo trying to figure out what he's going to do here after that big block from Ty Dillon, and the implication that if you try and pass him to the bottom, there will be another big block. Alright, so here we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Logano dueling it out with Chris Buescher right now. Chris Buescher trying to hang on to this one. Alright, 4 laps to go. 4 laps to go here. Sucks that Bowman's not driving that scheme. Yeah. Again, I wish Bowman was back in that car, but again, after being diagnosed with vertigo, it makes sense to take a week to try and address what this could mean for you going forward beyond this year. Considering Bowman was already in a contract year before this, and now this throws any future he has into very much question. So, we'll have to wait and see where this ends up, where this all lands. But 3 laps to go here. Again, Ty Gibbs dueling it out with Gilliland here for the final spot inside the top 10, as Chase Elliott has dropped back just enough. So again, you got battles all over the track here. You got Logano versus Buescher. You got here we go. 2 laps to go. 2 to go here in stage number 1. Any word on how many weeks Bowman will be out? As of right now, it is week to week. They're going to make that decision midweek. And until we know more, it'll continue to be a decision that's made midweek as to whether or not he's racing. NASCAR has to fix their cool suit problems. I mean, again, the cool suit problems have been a problem, but yeah, and it's like cool suit problems have been a failure, but that's just part of the going with the advanced technology here. Green and white checkered flag is out. Bell, your stage winner. Hamlin second. Logano third. Buescher, Bubba Wallace your top 5. Cindric, Hocevar, Reddick, Larson, and Todd Gilliland, the other drivers inside the top 10. But yeah, again, the cool suit thing, that's always been a risk for the drivers to the drivers choose to take on by wearing it. That yeah, it could help a lot, but it also could be bad. Great stage for JGR aside from Briscoe. Yeah, I mean, you would like to have seen Ty Gibbs get some points there as well if you're Joe Gibbs Racing. You're kidding me. So he got back to 10th, but failed to get stage points. Yep. No, that was me getting a Discord notification because I have my computer sounds turned on. No, that was my Discord binging. But Kyle Busch with another flat tire as the stage end. Are you kidding me? Oh yeah, I know. Ty Gibbs was the highest JGR car in points coming into the day at 17th place. But yeah, there we go. All right. Well, we are just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time here. Let's see. What track would Ty Gibbs win his first races this year? I mean that's a hard one because I don't know. I can't really pinpoint a specific track that he is better than everybody else at. A lot of the tracks he's succeeded at up to this point in the year are tracks that all the Joe Gibbs cars have kind of just been better at. I mean, Darlington in 2 weeks would be an option. Yeah, he's a great road course racer, but SVG is tough to beat. Exactly what Andrew said there. Yeah. Again, it's hard to identify a strength of his that is strong enough to really make him a contender. So, yeah, Darlington in a couple weeks could be a good one for him. I certainly wouldn't rule him out at Richmond this summer. Yeah, Richmond or Iowa in August. Yeah, again, he was top 5 last week. Yeah, at Circuit of the Americas, he was top 5. So again, like I wouldn't rule him out a lot. There'd be a very few places I would rule out a Ty Gibbs win potentially, but yeah, it's hard to identify a best track because again, his strength being the road courses, but that also being the strength of so that being a much stronger strength for SVG. Let's see how we're doing on points. All right, I'm second in fantasy points right now. That's not bad. And there we go. SVG would have to have a DNF at a road course and have luck to win one. I mean, again, I could see a world where Ty Gibbs could beat SVG at a road course. It would just, again, it's one of those things where we haven't seen a whole lot of we haven't seen SVG really look overly human outside of Coda. Well, like at Coda next year, I wouldn't put it past it there. Well, someone just there we go. Right. But yeah, again, it's just one of those things that I think it's going to be a really hard one to try and predict specifically.
We gotta guess where we are.
If Cup goes to Portland, I would pick Ty Gibbs. Yeah, I mean, again, it just comes down to the fact that Ty Gibbs would be a driver who has some experience at that road course specifically. All right, so there we go. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Everybody's getting 4 tires and fuel here. They got the 20, the 17, and the 11's pit boxes highlighted here. Here we go. Let's see. 4 tires and fuel done for the 20. Is the 20 going to win the race off pit road, though? Pretty clear. Logano, Bubba Wallace jumps up 2 spots. Bushard holds steady. The 11 at Denny Hamlin lost a couple of spots there on pit road. All right, so there we go. Again, we are just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. All right, let's see. Let's see. Christopher Bell with a huge point stay is going to take. Yeah, taking 19 stage points for Christopher Bell after first and second in the 2 stages. That's going to be big for him. Alright, so there we go. Chase Elliott comes out of pits 10th with 4 fresh tires. Alright, hey, good on him. Denny Hamlin had a really abysmal pit stop. Came in second, comes out 9th. That is a big fall there. Well, we are just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Let's go ahead and just take a quick peek in the YouTube studio, see how the channel's actually doing. Hey, we're up 2 subscribers today. Let's go. And we're actually able to hopefully be, again, if we're back in the swing of things and actually able to post regularly, I think we could start to actually see see a bounce back here. Yeah, nothing compared to that Daytona week, but hey, we're doing good. All right, so there we go. Do you watch GT World Challenge? Not a ton, mainly just because when it comes to anything other than when it comes to anything outside of America, I find it hard to one figure out when it's on, and I'm assuming, and two, figuring out what channel everything's on. Let's see. So they race at Sonoma at the end of March is the next race. So it's still a few weeks away. Let's see, did they have any? Let's see, and there's a YouTube channel where the races are. Okay, well, maybe I'll try and pick up. Maybe I'll try to tune in for a race or two on that. Yeah, it's hard for me to keep up with every single thing that has wheels on track. But yeah, here we go. We're gonna have 34 cars on lead lap. Really? Even with all the tire issues, we still have 34 cars lead lap. That's insane. Yeah, 34 cars on the lead lap, and Custer, Gregson, and Briscoe are out of the race. So you're either on the lead lap or you're out of the race. That's insane. There we go. Alright, we're chilling though. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. What is this Foster versus Blaney war? I have no idea what the mustache wars are about. But yeah, it's insanely warm here today. By the way, it's in the 50s. Yeah, in March, which it's not supposed to get this warm. I'm fine with it, but man, here we go. Green, green, green. Green flags out. We are back to racing. Final stage has begun. 127 laps to the checkered flag. We are already through 11 of them. So we're moving through this one in a hurry. Christopher Bell is able to clear Joey Logano for the lead, and now it is Bubba Wallace versus Logano side by side for second. Let's see what Logano is going to be able to do here. Is he going to continue to challenge the spot? Of course he's going to try and keep challenging the spot. There's nowhere for him to fall in line behind him without cutting his teammate off. Yeah, no, I was watching that, and I don't really understand the context, but I'm also not listening to the broadcast. So if they were saying something that was talking about it, oh no, they showed it. I'm not listening to the broadcast, so if they said anything that helped tie some context to it, I didn't hear it. So, but yeah, again, Logano still holding on to that fastest lap award. That is insane. Again, Logano, best lap being 131.3 miles an hour. Bell's best time is 130.5. So almost a full mile an hour slower for Bell than Logano on the fastest lap time. So good on Joey for having a really rocket lap, and that might be the thing that'll earn him a singular point. But man, it's a weird one to see a driver hold on to that, but not really at any point since, as he looked like the fastest driver on the track at all. All right, so there we go. 112 to go. 112 to go here. And there's Ty Gibbs jumping in front of Hocevar and trying to go around the outside of Blaney. Blaney going to slide up in front of Ty Gibbs, though, and take that spot back. Gibbs will settle in the 8th position. Still a lot better than he otherwise would have been. Alright, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alfredo up into the top 20. Hey, there we go. It's something. Again, we're working our way through this one. This race is going to be an interesting one down to the checkers, but let's see. Blaney looked up fast. Looked fast early, but Bell might be the favorite here today. Well, I certainly hope so, considering I picked him to win the race in the podcast race picks chat. Which again, if you guys want to hear me rant more about NASCAR along with some of my good friends, feel free to check out the Hand Me Another Sports Network. Let me just check, make sure. I may have forgotten to update that link today, but check out the Hand Me Another Sports Network. I think that's the updated link. If that link doesn't take you there, I apologize, but I believe the link in the description should be up to date. Let me test it real quick. Pause that. All right, let's see. What do we got? Link? Nope. Okay, that does not link to where it should. So give me a minute to try and get the proper link in there. The podcast again. 107 laps to go here. Bubba Wallace has cleared Joey Logano for the second position. Save the link, and there we go. All right, now if you guys refresh your pages, you guys should be able to find it. It should be the bottom link in the description. We also have podcasts of other sports. So if you guys are baseball or hockey fans, we also have something there for you. I believe we are going. I believe there might be an attempt to try and bring a. Yeah, that link's still not working. Okay. Not really sure what's going on there, but yeah, Blaney up to 5th. Nice. Ryan Blaney on the charge. But yeah, again, I'm hoping we can maybe get a football podcast back going, but yeah, it's just gonna come down to which of us have the time and effort to put together something like that. Might be something that we end up having to postpone or not do for this current season, and we'll have to bring it back next season or something. Because right now we got a lot of other stuff that we're contending with. All right, Logano getting to the back bumper of the 23. He's looking like he's trying to put on some real pressure here to try and pass the driver there. As they trying to pass the driver of the number 23 car. Blaney up to 4th here over Cindric. I believe Cindric is still in 5th. Yeah, Austin Cindric in 5th. Tyler Reddick in 6th. You got Busher, Gibbs, Hamlin, and Ross Chastain, the top 10. Carson Hocevar not. Oh, we got a spinning a flat tire again here. Sorry. Yeah, Ryan Preece is around and he does have a tire down, it appears. Not sure as to which one caused which. If the tire went. Oh, it looked like there was a tire down. He opts not to go to pit road, though, so maybe there wasn't a tire down. Maybe he was just purely burning something else off the wheel area, which is not any better, honestly, versus having a tire rub. Maybe he has a tire rub, but he doesn't think it's bad enough, so he's not going to come to pit road while pit road's closed. Yeah. Well, again, I don't know that he even spun and crashed. Again, it could have been a tire going down. All right, let's see. Oh, yeah, no, it was a spin. After contact with the 88 of Zilich. Yeah, so he gets into, yeah. Say Zilich and Priest make contact, which sends Priest around. All right, so there we go. You know, we are chilling here. But yeah, Priest crashed out of the flip is kind of funny. Again, there's no banking here, so it makes sense that it'd be harder to get airborne, but harder doesn't mean it's impossible. But Daytona is also a lot meaner to Ryan's than Phoenix is, so. All right, but yeah, again, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time though. Let's see. It was a little early for tire failure. These tires can go 30 laps under a green flag. Yeah, well, that's say the fact that we are talking about the tires though as much as we are, and the fact that what I saw was what looked like a tire rubbing down the back straightaway, made me wonder. Okay, did this tire go horribly wrong? But yep, nope, they got it back going. I remember that one Rudiman flip. Might have to be a little bit more precise because that was a long time ago. Chase Elliott team needs a strategy. Well, at the moment, we're gonna have to wait and see where he cycles out here. But I say it looks like Chase Elliott is trying something here by staying out and attempting. He and Josh Berry are gonna try something to gain some track position. Ooh. Yeah, we are under 100 laps to go here in Phoenix at Phoenix International Raceway. Working our way through this one. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. It is a little chilly down here, but we are good. Oh yeah, the Ruderman flip at the Glen. Yep. All right. Yeah, I remember the one you're talking about now. Elliott needs to gun it to into turn one. Yeah, well, again, we don't know, as we aren't sure how good those tires are going to be when it comes to takeoff speed. And say he could struggle on takeoff speed, which would cause a little bit of a delay there. Hmm. Did Josh Berry and Elliott not pit? Yes, that is accurate. Those two have opted to stay out to try and play a track position race here, which bold strategy, but we'll have to wait and see if it pays off for them. Also, it looks like Denny Hamlin may have had another poor pit stop. 12th place, not terrible. He and Reddick are actually back there together, 12th, 13th. Let's see. Knowing that you can trust a 50-year-old grenade more than these tires. That's bold to say the least. Again, that's why I said we'll have to wait and see if it works out for him. But yeah, again, we've seen guys try stuff, and at this point, Barry and Elliott weren't doing much else with their tires. I mean, what? Just run in the back half of the top 15? Yeah, here we go. Oh, spin and crash off the start. Green, 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 yellow, yellow, yellow. It's Chastain and Alfredo around behind them. From what I'm hearing, Barry and Elliott don't have any tires, might not have any tires left, or might be running low on tires. So Barry and Elliott might have been trying to conserve a set of tires there, which Austin Cindric being out of this one as well is not going to help this too much. Yeah, so Cindric's out. Chastain's crab walking. And yeah, this is an interesting one for sure. But yeah, that happened that happened in a really quick hurry. I didn't even see what actually caused all this. All right, so let's see the restart here. Again, everybody's in the restart box here. We'll count up the cars as we watch this replay here, so to see what actually happened. All right. Oh, all right. So it was the 21. It was the 22 and the 1 car that collided with each other. All right. So yeah, the 22 got the 1 really squirrely, and then the 1 tried to come back across the 22's nose. They collect the 48, the 2. McDowell sneaks through, so it looks like a 4-car incident. Yep. So Chastain, Cindric, Alfredo, and I would count Logano as being in that one. And possibly the 23 of Bubba Wallace got a glancing blow, yeah. Yeah, a glancing blow for the 23. So, what, like 4 or 5 cars involved on that one? Alright, again, we are chill. This is going to be tough. Only one more set of tires for Elliott. Okay, yeah. So, again, trying to make it on one set of tires is going to be really tough. Now, if Alfredo got airtime, yep, that he did. But, yeah. Again, what Elliott could be trying to wait it out for, though, is if everybody else starts running low on tires and gets approved for an extra set. I think Elliott wants to try and nurse it at least to that point rather than being in a hurry to run out of tires. All right, here we go. No, that was Cindric. Yeah, I know I saw Cindric almost get up in the air. I didn't. Yeah, the 88 or the 48 of Alfredo also got some error there as well. It'll be yet another disappointing finish for the 48. Yeah, again, not of their doing in this situation. I mean, again, they were completely blindsided here. All right, here we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Not necessarily. He only had a front tire down. He can come back. If you're talking about the 48, yeah, he can. But he wasn't lighting the world on fire before this, and now he's got damage. I think that's what Andrew and I were both implying with that is that, I mean, yeah, he was not lighting the world on fire prior to the crash, but the crash is not going to help him. All right, there we go. So, Cindric's definitely out. That one was that was a no-brainer. Again, he got up in the air. It's just a matter of the other guys involved, how much damage they got. Again, I'm assuming Alfredo's done, and if he isn't, he probably just putts around the rest of the race. I don't think he has enough car left to really compete for much. Yeah, the 48 is now 3 laps down. Exactly. Again, it's going to take time to fix whatever they have going on there. Ugh, 91 laps to go. Come on. The 3 finished the Daytona 500 without a front end. Again, finishing the race is one thing. Being in any sort of actual contention for anything more is where I think you run into trouble. Don't talk bad about Alfredo. Hey, I love him as a guy, but if you're talking about as a driver today, yeah, he has not really been the guy. He has not been the guy you'd be looking for. So, I got my whole flag set here. I'm gonna driver be one position for over 2 minutes, then NASCAR randomly drops them down one position. Say, in fact, I actually had some Alfredo pasta earlier this afternoon, but yeah, there we go. Where did I get that green flag? My local dirt track sells the whole set. In fact, I've got the whole set here. The white flag is in a different room. But yeah, my local dirt track sells the entire set, including the green and white checkered flag for the stages. So yeah, that's where I got all these. The points is what's going to hurt the 48 if they keep getting only single digits. Yeah, I mean that, and the fact that they don't have their normal driver. Again, yeah, so you ideally want to have your driver that you chose, but yeah, those are, yes, I love having those things around. I also got this metal sign as well. That's normally just out of the sign that shows what all the flags do. So normally that's just out of range, just over on the other side of this. So yeah, there we go. Is Bush even in this race? Kyle Busch is out there somewhere. One of my friends just texted me that. 48 backup driver for half the season, yeah. That should be his celebration when he wins the race. You know, Chess has to bust a watermelon. The hard part there is having fresh pasta on standby for when he eventually does get some wins. Again, Alfredo's a great guy, and I've been a fan of his since back in the days of the number, what was it, the 15 truck, back when it was him and Natalie Decker at David Gilliland Racing, DGR Crosley. Yeah, the blue and white, the blue and yellow flag for the move over flag. Yeah. Yeah, I got the full set. So at a dirt race last year. Nope. Yep. There we go. Cindric out of the medical center. Glad to see he's okay. You never want to see a driver hurt, and that was a big crash. Again, glad to see that Cindric is okay after that one, because that was a brutal hit. Yeah, there's also the owner's points. Yeah. And in the same regard, again, the owner's points are going to take a hit. No, I could see him having I could see him having kind of a fake bowl of pasta potentially that they bring with them to everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, get well, Alex Bowman. Absolutely. I want to see Alex Bowman back in that 48 car as soon as possible. Not that I dislike Alfredo, but I really hope that this vertigo thing is not a long-term hindrance for him. Gibbs doing well. Yeah, again, all four Gibbs drivers were doing pretty well prior to Briscoe's crash. But Ty Gibbs has been, he's been living up to the rest of the team. Yep. But yeah, I actually have a Anthony Alfredo sticker. I believe I still have it in a folder of stuff I got back at college when I won a giveaway of his. Yeah, on social media. That and a handwritten note from him, so that was pretty cool. Whenever qualifying is rained out, they line up the grid by owner's points. So it's a metric. So they average out the owner's points, the the owner's points, the fastest lap, that driver's fastest lap from the previous race, and the driver's what was it? It was and the driver's finishing position from the previous race. Those three things get averaged together to get the starting. Is Alfredo's first name Chicken? No, it's Anthony. But that would be a much funnier answer if his name was Chicken or even Shrimp. But yeah, it looks like Chase Elliott's all the way back in 25th now. Again, just trying to make it work with the again where they've been going through sets of tires so quickly, and he needs to try and just survive the race. Yeah. It's a bit more complicated now. Yeah. Yeah, again, they introduced that around the same time as COVID, mainly because, again, that was when it became real that, yeah, you really kind of needed because it used to be almost essentially a random draw so your top 20 in owners points and your bottom 20 in owners points would be in that order, but then where among, let's say you were 17th on owners points, you could get drawn first and get the first spot. That's how it used to be. Yeah, but again, around COVID time, they realized that rainouts and other things canceling qualifying were going to be a much more major problem, and that they needed a more concrete solution. I think Linguini would actually be would probably be as close to a real name and good for the joke as you could get. But here comes Ryan Blaney looking up the inside on Christopher Bell. Yeah, Christopher Bell trying to hold this outside line. Ryan Blaney, though, right on pit road entrance, just staying as close to that back bumper as he can. Blaney going to try a little bit higher of an arc through 3 and 4 here towards the start-finish line. Right up against the fence goes Blaney, and Bell up to block. Great blocking by Bell. Great track running here by the 12 car. Again, try and bait the 20 to go a little lower down. Try and make him make a mistake. Through 1 and 2, no mistakes made by Christopher Bell. This time, Christopher Bell to the bottom of the racetrack still. Blaney tries to follow him in case Bell was going to go a little bit higher to try and block the move that he tried before, but you really got to make it actually work. If you got to make it an actual threat before he'll actually take it seriously. So if you want him taking you seriously up there, you got to actually make progress on the top rather than just a 1-lap throw and then try and bait him to the bottom or bait him off the bottom. Yep, Bell versus Blaney as expected. Yep. I just mistaken Blaney with Elliott. I said that was a very real possibility when I first looked at Painskin. I was like, "Yep, that very much could get confused with Chase Elliott." So yeah, there we go. All right, let's see. 20 versus 12. Take your pick. I'm gonna stick with my pick from pre-race, and I'll take the number. I will take the number 20 car. But yeah, again, Ty Gibbs right up there with Hamlin and Bell, though. Again, keeping this very competitive here for the Toyotas in this front group. Again, Blaney putting some real pressure here on the back bumper of the 20, but the 20's not budging. I think if I'm not sure what I would do if I was Blaney here, but I think I'd try and just absolutely ride the top and then try and absolutely send it across the dog leg. Cut as much of the track as possible. Try and really put some make Bell a little bit nervous of the potential of me passing. All right, so there we go. 74 laps to go. Again, they're working their way through this one. Logano's still with the fastest lap of the day, which is insane. And say he will probably finish with the fastest lap of the day. Yeah, they're showing that replay again of just how hard those impacts were for both the 22 and the 40, or for the 2 and the 48. The 2 of Cindric, the 48 of Alfredo. So yeah, there we go. Alfred almost did a preset 2025 Daytona 500. Yep. They All right, there we go. If it was a super speedway he was going up and over, very possible. All right, so yeah, there we go. All right, so here we go again. Blaney still right on the rear bumper of Bell, and oh, is that a tire going down for Kyle Busch again? Come on. Another tire going down for Kyle Busch. There we go. Cindric's had a nightmare start to the season with the best finish of 26 at Atlanta. Yeah. Kyle Busch goes around, caution flag. All right, so there we go. Again, caution flag being out. We're going to see another restart. Oh, did SVG go around again, too? SVG and Busch wreck at the same time the first time. Yeah, the last time the Busch and SVG wrecked together, I didn't see SVG, so I'm gonna have to wait. And yeah, I only okay. Here we go. SVG. Oh, SVG's wasn't a tire going down this time though. Austin Dillon just took out the 97. Yeah, this time it wasn't double tire failures though. This time it was a tire failure on the 8, and the Dillon just dumping SVG. On the positive side, maybe he was trying to get cause a caution to help his teammate out. But yeah, again, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. If you're a Kyle Busch fan like me, you probably aren't having the best of times, but my pick is still in the lead of the race, so here we go. Everybody coming down pit road, and we do mean everybody. I see Chase Elliott in the back there. And yeah, we are getting closer and closer to the end of this one. Yeah, we're right about halfway through this second stage here. Hey, did somebody stay out? That would be insane if we see anybody stay out here. It's time to move and go get them off the rack. It's time to take them off the track. Yeah. Not sure what that was meant to say. Bell, Gibbs, Blaney loses a spot on pit road. Busher gains 2. Logano gains 2. Hamlin loses 2. Bubba Wallace losing 2. Larson gains 2. Reddick losing 1. Hocevar staying still. You talking about with Austin Dillon wrecking the 97? Because, I mean, maybe you could say that was a shade of Earnhardt, but I feel like even Earnhardt raced with a little bit more respect than that. But I was not know what might have happened to precede that would have caused it. But and say, if you're just talking about Dillon's cars, yeah, they always look like they always try and make it invoke the spirit of Earnhardt. Because it ends up making them more money if they do make Dale Senior throwbacks. All right, yeah, we're just chilling out here. Isn't Dylan's car based on Harvick? I didn't actually see his car that well. I just know that they very commonly will do Dale Senior esque throwbacks. I know at the Daytona 500 this year, I know that they did a throwback to that first car that Harvick got in when he replaced Dale Senior, which is still invoking the memory of Dale, but again, I haven't looked overly closely at his car for this week. But yeah, if you want to look for a driver that has kind of that Dale Senior type attitude, I mean, I don't think you're going to see someone who's more similar to that than Hocevar at this point. Yeah, doing it for imagine, please no. They're running the he's running the Harvick throwback all year. Okay, yeah. Again, the number 3 was retired, and the agreement was that the number 3 would only come back for a family. Initially, when that was written, they thought it was going to be for Dale Jr. Yeah, Cletus is going to be in the 33. But yeah, the number 3 in was retired from NASCAR, and again, the agreement between the Earnhardt family and Richard Childress was that it would only come back for family. Initially thought that okay, maybe Dale Jr. or Jeffrey Earnhardt would end up in the 3. then they end up finding the workaround with that. Oh well, Austin Dillon is Childress's family, and well, that the rest that's the story as to okay, the 3 is now I guess the Childress's number for the Dillon brothers, and Earnhardt. Jeffrey Earnhardt has run the 3 in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series once. But yeah, there we go. Wow, Blaney's lost 24 net positions on pit road today. Yikes. I mean, that is a lot of spots for pit road to lose you. Here we go. Come on. Pace cars off. Field in the hands of Bell and Ty Gibbs on the front row. As they get ready to go. Green, green, green. Green flag's out. We are back to racing. And there it is. Green flag is out. Bell versus Gibbs. Blaney gonna be watching in this from third place here. Gonna be trying to go around the outside, but you also got guys on the inside. Larson, Hamlin trying to make this one work. It is gonna be Blaney getting third place. Looks like Hamlin will jump to fourth. Hamlin does still have Kyle Larson though challenging, but that challenge doesn't last long. And there we go. Could we see a Ty Gibbs win today? That would be insane. Spin and crash! It's the 22 of Logano back up the track. KOs the 21 of Berry, and the 7 of Suarez also gets taken out. Caution flag flies. If Cletus does replace Austin Dillon, which again I doubt it, I believe that they would end up going and renumbering the car again. I don't believe that. Because I truly believe that up to this point they've held it that the number 3 would only be for family members, and at least as of now, Cletus is not part of the Earnhardt or Childress family. So, all right, let's see what happened here. We got Logano middle of 3 wide. Logano down to the bottom. Now he has another car there. Okay. Not sure who that was that kind of got in the way there, but yeah. There was another car that got some damage. It might have been Chase Elliott. All right, so let's see. So, yeah, that was not on Logano. That was on that orangish car, which I believe is the 16 of Allmendinger. Yeah, AJ Allmendinger got into that one. And, this race has started taking a lot longer. Yeah, I could see Cletus ending up in the 30. The same number he's driven in the Arkham Hard series. Or even, I could see him asking for the 33 even. Like, okay, you can't have the 3, but you can have the 33. I can see that. Yeah, Logano, Blaney, and Suarez all out. Well, number 67 is already claimed by 2311. That's their third car for their rotational driver, and unless you've got Jordan level money, I don't think you're gonna get that number away from Jordan anytime soon. I could see a world where Cletus, if he had the choice of number, might take the 69, as I believe that was a number that Greg Biffle actually liked using. But again, I think I think I could realistically see him if he does go Cup racing, I could see him using the 33 number. I'm not even sure he would want to do full time because, again, he's got all of his other stuff with his YouTube channel and all that other stuff going on that I'm not sure Cletus would ever go full time. Joey was just involved in a massive crash here with Daniel Suarez and Josh Berry. So Joey Logano is out of the race. Yeah, the 3 is owned by RCR. So it wouldn't, now granted, Jordan does have the kind of money to try and buy out that number, but I also just don't see that happening anytime soon. Yeah, the beard car would be a place I could see him, but I could also see him in like an RCR in house, similar to what Austin Hill was in today or Jesse Love last week, in the number 33 as a third rotational car. Because one, I don't think he wants to race full time. Because again, if full time was a thing he wanted to pursue, he should probably be full time ARCA at this point. But he hasn't gone to full time ARCA for plenty of other stuff. So. What about 00? I believe that is saying unless Starcom Racing still has any say. I believe that was the last time the 00 was used. Yeah, his goal is only the Daytona 500. Exactly. Again, he's only really focused on the super speedways. All right, there we go. Let's see. Biffle was 16. He could race a colleague car as a partner of RCR. Yeah, but I'm trying to remember. Like, wasn't it during the? Trying to remember if like during the pandemic or something during some of the iRacing invitationals. If did Greg Biffle do like a spotlight race? For some reason, I remember Biffle in the '69 car being linked at some point. Yeah. Again, I don't know if I ever see him do full time anything because again, he's got his YouTube channel going on. But yeah, I'm playing a game, so I'll be back after the race is over. I'll look at Google. All right. Have a great day, Joyous Boar. All right, let's see. Okay. Oh yeah, it was the SRX series around that time that yeah, it was the SRX where Biffle drove the 69 car. I knew he was linked to the 69 number in one way or another. So there we go. How many are we at now? But yeah, the 03 again. You just as they were throwing out other numbers. It could, but yeah, again we are. We're chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. We're still 53 laps to go. Again, these cautions are really slowing this race down. Chase Elliott has some damage from one of these wrecks. But yeah, we've had 4 cautions already in this stage, which is just insane. I feel like this race should have been over by now. Yeah, I'm just saying, Teresa Earnhardt would would absolutely blow an absolute fuse if Cletus tried to drive the 3. And say, if anyone knows Teresa Earnhardt, she ain't making an exception to the agreement for anybody. Yeah, I mean, it could. As a Trackhouse could absolutely do that again. I think when it comes to Cup teams, I think almost any of the teams probably would absolutely be willing to welcome him in. But again, right now, he hasn't even made an O'Reilly Auto Parts Series start, and he hasn't made it more than 5 laps into a truck start yet. So I think it's definitely a little early to be talking. Although it's too early to be talking O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, but he's going to be doing that in a month and a half. I haven't heard much on Project 91 for this year, mate. And honestly, I think that is probably because they've been so focused on their SVG and their rookie Zilich, not wanting to distract from their rookie seasons. So again, next week we have Arlington for the Indy cars. We got Vegas for the Cup cars, so should be a good one. Let's see. Can we just get through this stage without another caution? Please. Yeah, we got a great running order right now. If I just wanted to call the race now, I'd be perfectly fine with it. All right, there we go. Verstappen in the project. Again, the hard part there is trying to get Formula One drivers, being able to find a time when their schedules work together. Come on, Carson. Hey, I would love to see Carson Hocevar try and make something happen here. He's currently in 9th place. Pace cars off. Field in the hands of Christopher Bell and Ty Gibbs as we get ready to go. Green flags out. We are back to racing. And let's see. Again, Christopher Bell versus Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs on the inside here. Denny Hamlin looking to maybe try and make it through wide. Not even close. Not really close enough on that bottom line, though. And also knew it was really smart to try and make it through wide with 3 teammates. Because at that point, you end up wrecking your entire team. The entire remainder of your team here. So, smart choice there by Denny Hamlin. Looks like Christopher Bell is going to clear Ty Gibbs and take that spot. Meanwhile, you've got, again, Denny Hamlin still locked in a 3-wide battle between himself, Blaney, and the 5 of Kyle Larson. Again, that's a really tough one because, again, when it comes to a race like this, you really need to try and figure out which series goes on Saturday and which one ends up pushing the race to Sunday, which one gets the feature spot. And, well, a lot of that comes down to egos, and there is a lot of egos when it comes to racing. So F1 likely wouldn't take the secondary role, and that would mean NASCAR would have to humble themselves to take the secondary role. And, well, based on what we saw in the lawsuit, I don't see them humbling themselves much. So I think you're really looking to a optimistic future if you want to see F1 and NASCAR share a weekend. Coda is probably one of their better bets to do so, but again, that would take a lot of humbling of NASCAR's own ego. All right, so there we go. Christopher Bell, though, does get out in front of Ty Gibbs. Larson has actually emerged to third. Reddick has gotten to fourth. Blaney's gotten to fifth. and Denny Hamlin dropped all the way to 9th. Denny Hamlin having a really rough restart there. But yeah, again, a lot of drivers really struggling here on this restart. Hey, Michael McDowell up in the top 10. Let's go. Michael McDowell, top 10. Whoop, whoop. Let's go. Again, though, right now, Hamlin battling it out with William Byron, trying to, cutting the nose off of William Byron there to hold on to that 7th position there for Hamlin. Here we go. Now you got Byron side by side with the number 3 car there. Here we go again. Now we got 3 wide here. It's Larson in 3rd, Reddick in 4th, and Blaney in 5th. 3 wide there for a moment. I wonder if Tricon does another start, maybe with Heim, like last year with Truex. I don't think so. I think the Tricon thing was purely because they wanted to get Truex in a seat, and both 2311 and Joe Gibbs Racing both already were at 4 cars for that race, so they didn't really have a way to do a fifth, to do another car outside of, I guess, maybe partnering with, what was it, Legacy Motorsports. But at that point, it's like, okay, Tricon can probably just do a better job themselves. I think if you were going to see something like that, I think you would have seen Corey Heim try and I think you would have seen them try and do that for some sort of full-time deal. Try and get Corey Heim into the Cup Series, similar to what we saw with Furniture Row Motorsports with the 77 car for Jones. But I also think we've seen how that worked out, so I think we got the better outcome. Again, Larson and Blaney still duking it out here for the 3rd position. Meanwhile, you've got Hocevar and Allmendinger fighting it out for 11th as well. I mean, you've got a lot of good fights up and down this field. 40 laps to go. Again, not a lot of laps to go. The laps are clicking here. Or just give the 56 to Truex. But yeah, again, right now, though, Christopher Bell has the lead over Gibbs. And yeah, right now, Blaney and Larson are going to try and run down Ty Gibbs and see if they can make some inroads towards the top 2. But again, at the moment, Hocevar trying to cut across the grid, not going to be able to get ahead of Allmendinger. Allmendinger tries to hold him off. Wait and see where everything shakes out. They just cut away to the race leader, who is clear and away out in front of the field by 1.4 seconds. And so far, Christopher Bell has led 161 laps of the 274 laps that have been run up to this point. I mean, that is a lot of laps. All right, so we got Bell, Gibbs, Blaney, Larson, Reddick, Bubba Wallace, Hamlin, Byron, Dillon, and McDowell. Yeah, we've got a stacked top 10 here. In particular, I think this top 5, you're going to have a hard time finding a better top 5 than this. Again, maybe you swap out Gibbs with his more experienced teammate Hamlin, but there we go. Yeah, we are chilling here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Alright, yeah, we are chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Oh man. I say Reddick's absolutely all over the back bumper of the 5 car of Kyle Larson. I say Blaney got clear of Larson and tried to skedaddle away, but right now Larson is absolutely in Reddick's crosshairs here. Meanwhile, the 6 of Hamlin only has a fake glimpse out his windshield of what's going on ahead of him. All right, so we got 33 laps to go, working their way through this one. Christopher Bell now has a 2.5 second lead. That is, this is starting to turn into a little bit of a blowout, but given how the earlier part of this race went, I am good with just settling down for a good, nice run to the checkers. Last 8 races at Phoenix. Sorry. I thought it was yep. That is a car with a flat tire there. Connor Zilich again. The 88 on pit road with a flat tire. They were just talking about the average of the last caution, but that one is not going to cause a caution as he is safely on pit road. And there we go. Why does the same drivers have issues? Maybe because their teams are trying to push the issue with their with how aggressive they can be with their tire pressures. It might be. That might be why the same few drivers are having issues. Otherwise, I have no idea. But again, right now, Blaney out in front of the field. Out ahead of Gibbs. Still has a ways to catch Bell. But Blaney's starting to reel him in, which will be an interesting one to keep an eye on here. 2.8 seconds back for Blaney at the current moment. And as of right now, it's not. Yeah, Blaney's not all that much quicker. In fact, actually, he was slower that last lap than the. He was actually slower that last lap than Blaney. Or Blaney was slower that last lap than Bell, I mean. But again, right now, just trying to lock in here, see if you can see if anybody else can guess anything. Let's see, 20 laps to go. We're working our way through this one. Sorry, I got a little delirious there with the ramble, but yeah, again, right now we got McDowell, Allmendinger a little bit further back. A caution here would shake everything up. 28 laps to go. All Trackhouse cars crashed at least twice. Yep, that they did. And a flat tire for the 33 of Austin Hill. Another flat tire. This time, again, Austin Hill able to get to pit road. No problem. We're going to stay green once again. Yep, Austin Hill with a flat tire. Gets to pit road, though. No caution flag. And again, Chris Bell continues to extend that lead now to over in excess of over 3 seconds. All right, we're chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Again, though, Bell out so far ahead of Blaney. I mean, Blaney can see him out his windshield. Caution flag flies. Caution flag for the number 3 car of Austin Dillon. There's the yellow. Yep. Austin Dillon goes around. Caution flag is out. We are going to have a restart. This is going to be a fun restart. Bell versus Blaney. It's going to be an exciting restart here. Under 25 to go. Probably under 20 to go when we go back green. Priest back up into the top 15. Let's go. Say definitely not really sure I prefer him over Larson at the moment, which was the decision I made before the end of the stage. But all right, there we go. Again, Austin Dillon just trying to make this one happen, and again, we're curious. I'm curious to see what this restart's going to end up looking like here. McDowell, Allmendinger, both in the top 10 here. All right, Ty Gibbs win. It's possible, but again, he's looked like the third best. He's looked like the third to fourth best car out here most of the time. All right, let's see. Does anybody stay out with about 20 laps to go? I think everybody needs fresh tires here. Does anybody disagree? Nobody through the top 10. So the entire top 10 is good to go, it sounds like. All right, there we go. All right, nice quick pit stop. And the 54 is actually going to beat the 12 off of pit road, it looked like. And we're waiting to see what the 20 is going to do here. 20 in his pit box. He's a little bit further down than the rest. So I think that was actually two tires there for Gibbs and the others, because Gibbs, Blaney coming out ahead. Bell losing 7 spots. Yep. So yeah, the rest of those guys taking 2 tires here. Bell choosing 4. Again, I think choosing 4 tires is the right choice here. I mean, they did say that Cletus, in order even just to get approved for the O'Reilly Auto Parts plate races, would need to make it into the top 25, which, please, let the top 25 not be locked in before the end of before the end of lap 7. Yeah, there we go. Gibbs, Blaney, Larson, the top 3. Man, Ty Gibbs versus Blaney out in front of the field here. Where's Daniel Suarez? He was knocked out in the big crash involving Joey Logano. Involving who was it? Joey Logano, Cindric, and Suarez, I believe. But yeah, Jose Rockingham is not an easy track for a rookie driver. No, it is not. Yeah, the tire changer. They're jumping out from in front of the 54 Ty Gibbs. That was gutsy move there. All right, so there we go. Watching last year's spring race back again. Say Bell managed to hang on to a very close one there. But it was Barry. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I got my Penske and Penske affiliated cars mixed up. Yeah, it was Barry and Suarez, not Cindric and Suarez. Hopefully someone else besides Tyler Reddick finally wins. Well, Tyler Reddick is in 4th place, so he's not exactly done yet. All right, lights are off on the pace car. Field will be in the hands of Ty Gibbs and Ryan Blaney when they go green. Here we go. Pace car is going to pull off, and again, one is a race leader, Ty Gibbs and Ryan Blaney are going to lead this field to the green flag. We are not. I don't believe we are done seeing caution flags as of right now. Kyle Busch is back on the track. Hopefully, those tires will stay in one piece for him. And again, right now, Bell and Hocevar are sharing a row. All right, there we go. Yeah, Busch was 2 tire failures and top 10. Yeah, exactly. Green flags out. And we're back to racing. And the 54 locked up the brakes heavy going into 1 and 2 here. Ty Gibbs is going to lead them coming off of turn 2. Here comes the... Oh, yep, there they go. There they go. Zane Smith around in the back of the field. And it looks like Kyle Larson's going to take the lead from Gibbs down the back straightaway. And we have got ourselves yet another caution and restart. These are professionals. Yep, that they are. They are professionals. Professionals at what? Who knows? We'll figure that out someday, hopefully. But, yet another caution flag brings us to 12. 22 lead changes, 80 laps of caution already. Caution for Zane Smith. Yep. They're professional race car drivers doing what they do best. Yep, doing what they do best. Spinning cars and racking up crash damage. Record is tied here. Let's see, the gaming X-ray of Tyler Reddick wins. I got crashed out so hard. If Tyler Reddick ends up finding a way to win this, that would be hilarious. I don't think Tyler Reddick will find a way to win this one. Oh, wait a minute. Could Michael McDowell? McDowell's in 5th place. Let's go! McDowell in the lead. Let's go. The ultimate. Yep. We've all talked about that. Yep, that is the run that Reddick has been on to start the year has been the ultimate response to the lawsuit from this past offseason. But yeah, there we go. Again, Reddick locked up the brakes really hard going into turn 1 there. Why does Zane Smith have Patrick Star on his helmet? Helmet designs are usually are usually kind of the drivers usually have some say on them, but based on the fact that Aaron's is on there, I'm guessing it's some sort of cross promotion between Aaron's and Nickelodeon, but I have no idea. I don't know the actual story. You'd have to ask him. And hey, if he wants to come on the show and I can ask him that question myself, I'd love that. I'd love to have him on the channel. But, yep. So Ty Gibbs does maintain the lead. Okay, we thought Larson might have had it, but apparently they didn't cross a scoring loop. And when a caution comes out that does not end the race, NASCAR will go back to the most recent scoring loop that they crossed. Yeah. Now, if they didn't cross if it was a caution that was going to end the race, let's say caution with the white flag being out. Yeah, the SpongeBob SquarePants had a race at Kansas, for quite a few years. Then you had then you had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had the Chicagoland 400 back in 2017. But, yeah. Again, so far, Ty Gibbs holding on to that lead, though. This is going to be interesting down the stretch. Hopefully, you guys are excited. As they don't go anywhere, we've got ourselves a really tight race. 15 laps to go here. Ty Gibbs in front of the field. If this is how Ty Gibbs gets his first win, I will be ecstatic for him. Let's go, Ty Gibbs. So yeah, the scoring loop, it was incredibly close, by the way. The last scoring loop they crossed prior to the yellow flag coming out. And it was, again, Ty Gibbs by a nose out in front. 126 starts, his best finish, a runner-up finish. And now Ty Gibbs has his eyes set on potentially his first career win. Only 14 laps away. Yeah, I actually originally thought that Gibbs was going to lose the lead down the back straightaway to Larson, but I guess I didn't cross the next scoring loop, though, before it happened. So, here we go. They were... yeah, I do remember that. I actually remember playing the video game. But yeah, they're still scoring Gibbs as the leader. Yep. All right, so there we go. Gibbs to the outside, Larson to the inside. Larson's got a teammate and Byron lined up behind him. Blaney and McDowell are behind Gibbs. All right, here we go. Pace car is off. Gibbs and Larson in control of the field. Yeah, here we go. Through the restart zone. Green flag's out. We are back to racing. First win's always hardest, they say. That is true. And again, here we go. Gibbs out in front of the field. Larson, Blaney. Here comes Christopher Bell to the bottom of the racetrack. Christopher Bell crossing up multiple lanes of traffic. Christopher Bell trying to do everything he can with those 4 tires to jump as far ahead as he could. Jumps up to 4th. Looking for 3rd on Larson. We have Ty Gibbs versus Blaney. Blaney to the bottom of the racetrack. Can Ryan Blaney steal this one from Ty Gibbs? Ty Gibbs on the top of the racetrack. We saw the top in the IndyCar race yesterday. Proved to be the better. But, stock cars are a completely different beast. Let's see. Ty Gibbs using that higher line, leaving the bottom open for Blaney. Blaney goes up, tries to side draft, and then dives across the apron. And Ryan Blaney to the lead. Ryan Blaney out in front of the field, but he slides up the track. He goes up the track, leaving the bottom open for Ty Gibbs. It's going to be a drafting race down the back straightaway, and nope, it is going. It is Ryan Blaney out in front of the field. So Ty Gibbs going to try and see if he can get him back. He has 9 laps remaining. 9 more times around. Christopher Bell, though, up into the 4th position here on 4 fresh tires. If we get one more caution, Bell is going to be dangerous for this win. And again, I'm not sold that we are done with the caution flags. But Blaney is clear out in front of the field, and he is starting to pull away from Ty Gibbs. Again, Ty Gibbs, great driver, but he has only been about the second or third best car at any given time today. I don't think there's been a time on track where he's been the best. And yeah, it looks like that is going to end up reigning true today. And here comes Kyle Larson looking up the inside, and you've got Christopher Bell as well. Larson side drafting Ty Gibbs, not going to be able to get alongside him. But yeah, again, I'm curious if we see another caution flag or not here. 8 laps to go, 8 more times around. Again, Christopher Bell and others now with 7 laps to go, 7 more times around. It's going to be Blaney versus Bell again. Yep, it definitely is, because here comes here comes Bell clearing both of the other two. And now it is just Bell versus Blaney. Bell having 4 fresh tires, Blaney on 2 fresh tires. And it is a 6-lap sprint with Blaney having a head start of about a second. 1 second the gap. Blaney on 2 tires, Bell on 4. So this is going to be an interesting one to watch. Again, best I think Ty Gibbs can do is 3rd, and I realistically see him probably finishing 4th or 5th here, depending on how quick Byron manages to pull this one back. But it does look like we are set for a new winner here. 5 laps to go, 5 more times around. Again, the Bell versus Blaney battle is going to be the one to keep an eye on here. I do not know if Bell has enough in it to run down Blaney. He's going to try everything he can. But 5 laps to go. It is not a lot of time, and Blaney is driving really well right about now. Bell gained about a 1/10 of a second that last time by, but a 1/10 of a second a lap is not going to be enough to catch him here. It is going to be down to Blaney and Bell. Bell needs Blaney to make a mistake, and as of right now, Blaney has not made one in a couple of minutes here. 0.86 back for Bell. Rounding turn 4, it looks like it's going to be 3 laps to go. Bell is continuing to close in on Blaney. I think he's going to get there, but it's going to be just a little too late here for Christopher Bell and Ryan Blaney holding him off here. 2.5 laps to go. It'll be 2 to go at the line. 2 more times around. Again, Blaney and Bell have been 2 of the best cars all day long. Even when Logano was the one leading, Blaney was the faster car throughout stage 1. So here we go. 2 laps to go. Only 2 more chances here for Christopher Bell to get there. He's closing in. It's going to be close, but I think Blaney's going to have it. Through turns 3 and 4. For the final time, we're going to see the white flag wave here in Phoenix. White flag is out. 1 lap to go. And now it is all up to Christopher Bell. He needs to try and do something if he wants to get this win. A good second place finish will go a long way for his points position. But if you want to win, it's going to have to come from a big move here in 3 and 4. I do think he is too far back, though. And here we go, rounding the corner. Not enough for Christopher Bell. Ryan Blaney is going to win at Phoenix. Bell second. 3rd will be Larson. 4th, Gibbs. 5th, Hamlin. 6th, Wallace. 7th, Byron. 8th is going to be where we find 3-time winner this season, Tyler Reddick. 9th, Michael McDowell. And rounding out the top 10, Eric Jones. Nice. There we go. Why can't these cars on the track? Lines matter. Racing below the line. And I say, NASCAR allows them to go below the line. If you have a problem with it, complain to NASCAR for allowing it. But as I say, these drivers have been conditioned to be told, hey, there is no such thing as out of bounds here. Blaney is too good at Phoenix. We can all say it. Can we all say it? This is really like Austin Hill at Super Speedway dominance. I don't think so, because, I mean, Super Speedway is in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series, I mean, it is Austin Hill and nobody else. Christopher Bell was right there with Ryan Blaney. I mean, the two of them are both extremely good. Yeah, again, feel free to criticize NASCAR for it. Don't go after the drivers for it, but I do think it makes Phoenix a way more interesting racetrack to have the option to get it. Hey, it's good on Blaney for this one. I've never said he wasn't a talented driver there. So, again, if you guys just came for the race reaction, obviously the race is over. As per usual, though, we will go through the full finishing order and react to anything that happens in the immediate aftermath of the race. But until next time, hopefully I enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next video. Live stream, whatever you decide to do with the rest of your night. But again, we are going to go through the full finishing order. So let's see where the full finishing order is. Wow, there's some surprises here. We will have to get to all of these. Just kind of taking a quick, brief look through. All right, so we ended with what? 25 cars on lead lap. All right, we got this. All right. 12th place because my monitor goes to 11. Open wheel fan here. Sorry. Yeah, no worries. I totally get it. Again, it's an overlapping series. I believe the IndyCar guys were also allowed to go below the go onto the apron like that too. So, but yeah, again, I get it. I see the complaints every time NASCAR goes to Watkins Glen and they overrun the track limits there too. NASCAR has never really enforced a whole lot of track limits for the most part, and honestly, I think a lot of the time it makes for the better racing because the stock cars are bigger and chunkier and usually will end up running wide versus a light and fast stock car. Well, in that situation, it also very well could be the fact that the Indy cars, with how light they are, might not have been able to handle the transition between the apron and the banking. Because again, you do one small thing to an Indy car and they're going to spin out. So, but again, we're going to go through it. So again, Ryan Blaney, the race winner. Yeah, good job to him. First time all season we aren't talking about race winner Tyler Reddick. Christopher Bell second. Again, put up an absolutely amazing contest there to try and go ahead and get it. Yeah, but ultimately comes up just about 0.4 of a second short. Kyle Larson coming home third. Fourth, Ty Gibbs comes up short of his first win, but a great, it was a great day there for Ty Gibbs. Denny Hamlin coming home in the 5th position. 6th will be Bubba Wallace. 7th, William Byron. 8th is where we find the 3-time winner. As a 7th, we find William Byron. 8th, we find 3-time race winner this season, Tyler Reddick. They're talking with Bell right now. Again, Michael McDowell 9th. Michael McDowell and Eric Jones 9th and 10th. Those are two drivers that will not get enough credit for an incredible day today. Again, Michael McDowell ran really well throughout most of this one. I don't know where Eric Jones came from, but he had an incredible run there at the end as well, getting all the way up into the top 10. Great job, Jones. Shane Van Gisbergen in 11th. There we go. SVG with an 11th place finish. There we go. Well, as a Blaney, the winner and the only Ford inside the top 10. I mean, you could also chalk that up to the fact that his two teammates that were running up inside the top 5 with him early on both DNF'd out of the race. Yeah, but the fact that, none of the, Roush Fords or anybody else were able to keep up. Which we'll get to the Roush Fords in just a minute as we keep going through it, but... Yeah, 12th place, Todd Gilliland in the 34. Great job there. Ryan Preece, Chris Buescher, and Brad Keselowski, 13th, 14th, and 15th. RFK all right in the line together, finishing 13th, 14th, and 15th respectively. That is pretty funny to see right there. Then you've got Austin Dillon coming home in the 16th position. 17th will be Kyle Busch. 18th is Riley Herbst. 19th, AJ Allmendinger. And rounding out your top 20 will be Carson Hocevar in the 77 car. Austin Hill in the 33 comes home 21st. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Chase Elliott, Cody Ware, and John Hunter Nemechek will round out your lead lap finishers, 21st through 25th. Ty Dillon finishes one lap down in 26th. Zane Smith, 27th place for him, 18 laps short of the checkered flag. Ross Chastain comes home 26 laps behind the race in 28th position. 29th for Connor Zilic, 31 laps off the pace. Daniel Suarez comes home 58 laps short of the checkered flag in 30th. Joey Logano comes home 59 laps short of the checkered flag in 31st. Then you've got Josh Berry, also 59 laps off the pace in 32nd. Anthony Alfredo finishes 95 laps down in 33rd. Austin Cindric, 96 laps down in 34th. Then you got Cole Custer, 153 laps short of the checkered flag is where he comes in the 35th position. Noah Gragson, 157 laps behind the race in 36th. And rounding out the field today is 181 laps behind the race is Chase Briscoe. So there we go. Let's see. Yeah, no RFK. Yep. Phoenix has always been a Penske track in the next gens. Toyota's, it's been very much a Toyota and Penske track. It's been really those two teams that have kind of owned Phoenix. Yeah, every once in a while, Hendrick's been able to have some good runs, but first and foremost, it has been a Toyota versus Penske track. So, all right, that is going to be the end of the stream, though. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you guys did enjoy the live stream, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you guys new, so you guys don't miss any future videos or live streams. But until next time, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Live stream, whatever you guys decide to do with the rest of your night. Real quick, before we hop off, I'm going to just go through schedule for next week. I don't know if I'll have any videos out midweek. I'd like to say I will, but again, I've got a lot going on outside of that as well. So, let's see. Vegas is just O'Reilly Auto Parts series, so I should be able to do Saturday and Sunday for NASCAR. And again, I'm hoping to, based on my schedule, I should be able to do the Indy cars as well. But until next time, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Live stream, whatever you guys decide to do with the rest of your night. Have a great night, everybody, and goodbye!